Chapter 13:15. Long Tianong was stunned. Then he raised his eyebrows and shouted angrily, "You killed the peerless genius of the Long family. Even if my doppelganger really killed your son, it would be justified. More than 100,000 years ago, I was defeated by you. Let's fight again today to determine the winner." "That's good. If you want to fight, let's fight," Tranquility Emperor said indifferently. He didn't take Immortal Emperor Tianong seriously at all. Immortal Emperor Tianong looked dignified. He didn't dare to be distracted by Yin Senshin and the cultivators of Huyin Shinrikyo. In the Zhenlong world, Su Feng saw clearly what was happening outside with the help of his second primordial spirit's eyes. He couldn't help but feel astonished. Then he gloated over Ning Kei's misfortune and instigated discord in the Star Palace. Finally, it worked. The battle between two peerless immortal emperors would definitely be very exciting. It would be even more exciting if the Tranquility Emperor's mansion and the Heavenly Law Immortal Realm started a full-scale war. Yin Sanshin, go back to the constellation of 9 heavens and wait for me there. Tranquility Emperor ordered Yin Sanshin. Yes. Yin Sanshin cupped his fists and said. The cultivators of the Fire Rising Divine Sun sect protected the flame immortal heart as they hurriedly left the area. Although the battle between immortal emperors was incomparably exciting, without sufficient strength, they didn't even have the qualifications to watch from the side. Whoosh! The cultivators of Huyin Shinrikyo flew more than 500 kilometers in one breath. At this time, an earth-shattering noise came from behind them, which made the space-time in this place shake violently. The two immortal emperors had started a shocking battle. Let's go back to the sect. Yin Sanshin took the lead and flew out. However, he didn't go to the Star Palace, but to the Huyin Shinrikyo. The Huyin Shinrikyo cultivators did not dare to go against his will and followed behind him. Luo sighed from the blood jade inside Su Feng's body. Su Feng, not only did you kill Yin Sanshin, but you also wanted to seize Huyin Shinrikyo's Fire of Stars. Not long after, all the immortal realms knew that your corpse was in Yin Senshin's hands, which made Huyin Shinrikyo the target of all. You also offended Immortal Emperor Tianong and Tranquility Emperor at the same time. Such a despicable method. Even I can't help but feel ashamed. Su Feng responded indifferently. Despicable? Yin Sanshin should have died long ago. As for Huyin Shinrikyo, shouldn't Huyin Shinrikyo pay the price for allying with Emperor Ning's mansion and destroying Star Palace? Flying through the depths of the void, he passed through numerous outer space, turbulences, and nebulas. 3 years later, a huge object floated in the void. It was like a huge fireball, dyeing the nebulas and impurities around it red. Huyin Shinrikyo. Stepping into the high sky of the material continent, the fire broke through the sky and the heat waves were overwhelming. It felt as if one's whole body was about to be melted. Unless it was a cultivator who cultivated fire elemental techniques, the cultivation of others would definitely be suppressed here. On the continent, volcanoes rose from the ground. From time to time, volcanoes would erupt from the mountain peaks, releasing amazing fire elemental divine power. On the mountain peaks, there were palaces. Huyin Shinrikyo's dojo was built on top of a volcano. In the center of the continent, there was a towering mountain peak that shook the sky. This was where the Huyin Shinrikyo's power center was located. Buzz, the power of the great perfection, sensed that there was an alien flame in the center of the mountain peak. Although it was a little erratic, it could not escape Su Feng's senses. Fire of Stars. Legend had it that 1,000,000 years ago, the star material that contained the Fire of Stars fell in the Huangze astral realm, causing the 8 forces to fight over it. In the end, the Fire of Stars split into many parts. The Gate of 10,000 Scrolls obtained a fragment of the alien flame, which had been merged with Su Feng. The main body of the Fire of Stars fell into the hands of the Huyin Shinrikyo. It was also because of the power of the Fire of Stars that the Huyin Shinrikyo developed for 1,000,000 years and finally became a powerful force. Su Fengdao went to great lengths to come to the Huyin Shinrikyo. The main body of the Fire of Stars was the main body of the Fire of Stars. They passed through the barrier above the continent. Hundreds of thousands of disciples were lined up in 2 rows from the main peak in the center of the continent to the sky, stretching for hundreds of miles. Then, a solemn and sonorous bell rang from the main peak and spread in all directions. The hundreds of thousands of disciples shouted in unison, "Welcome back, Senior Brother Yin Sun-shin." This grand occasion was actually to welcome the arrival of Yin Xin-shin. What a pity! Yin Sun-shin won't be able to enjoy such a grand ceremony. Su Fong was shocked by such a scene, but then he sneered in his heart. On the way to the main peak, all kinds of nauseating compliments and praises were heard, which made Su Fong blush. When they arrived at the main peak, the senior officials of the Huayin Shinrikyo accompanied them to a magnificent hall on the mountain peak, where they met the leader of the Huayin Shinrikyo. After a series of questions and praises, a grand banquet was held to welcome and celebrate Yin Sun-shin. After the banquet, more than a dozen beautiful female disciples sent Yin Sun-shin back to the mystic realm dojo where he used to cultivate. Su Fong only came out of Yin Sun-shin's body after he rejected the female disciple's request to sleep with him and closed the door of the palace. A faint voice came from the blood jade. "Su Fong, what did you see? What did you feel?" Su Fong was silent for a moment. Then he said slowly, "Intoxicating status and power. No wonder Yin Sun-shin is so ambitious. He doesn't hesitate to use any means to become the leader of the sect, or even the supreme emperor, even by stepping on the bones of his friends and family. Ambition and ruthless means the ultimate goal was power. Without power, one would be humiliated and bullied, and it would be difficult to protect one's own life and that of one's family. With power, one would be admired, respected, and respected by others, and women would be willing to give up everything, even life and death, and control the life and death of others. A true expert controls authority and relies on authority to become even stronger. On the other hand, most people use all sorts of methods to obtain supreme authority. Yet in the end, they're controlled by authority and become addicted to it. They become complacent and forget everything. So since the ancient times until now, no matter if it's the immortal dimension or the mortal world, how many people with high positions are able to have a good ending? After a long silence, Su Fong's eyes flashed with a bright light, showing determination. "Law, thank you for your teaching. I will never become the kind of person who is addicted to power, as you said. Power is just a tool for me to use. My goal is to constantly climb mountains and finally set foot on the supreme peak. Not only do I want to stand at the peak of the immortal world and look down on the world, but I also want to go to the other worlds." To be able to meet Law, who was both a teacher and a friend, Su Fong didn't know how many detours he had to take. He was extremely grateful deep in his heart, and at the same time, he felt very lucky. Law's help was definitely not inferior to any of his supernatural powers or Tao artifacts. Unexpectedly, in the next second, Law clicked his tongue and sighed. Those female cultivators just now were all extraordinary. They took the initiative to offer themselves to you, but you actually had the heart to refuse. I really don't know what to say about you. Law's glorious image in Su Fong's heart was immediately shattered. About 3 months later, Yin Sun-shin walked out of the palace, passed through the array, and came to the top of the main peak. "Young Master Yin, are you preparing to enter the Fire Amplification Divine Palace to cultivate?" A grand elder guarding the entrance of the volcano personally came up to him, his tone full of incomparable politeness. It turned out that in the deepest part of the main peak of Huayin Shinrikyo, there was a secret realm built in a dojo called the Fire Amplification Divine Palace. It was used as a cultivation dojo for the sect's upper echelons and a few special disciples. With Yin Sun-shin's current status and power, he was qualified to enter Huayin Shinrikyo to cultivate at any time, and there was no time limit. The treasure refining dojo of Huayin Shinrikyo was also built in the interior of the volcano. Moreover, due to the fact that it majored in fire elemental cultivation techniques and had the core of the Thousand Illusion Star Fire, the Huayin Shinrikyo's treasure refining dojo was famous in this immortal realm. Su Fang's purpose in coming to Huiyin Shinrikyo was not only the Thousand Illusion Starfire, but also the great pregnant purple chi of the treasure refining dojo. Yin Sunshin cupped his fists and said, "Yes, please lead the way." Whoosh! Under the lead of the Grand Elder, Yin Sunshin passed through many barriers and entered the interior of the volcano. Inside the volcano, terrifying magma roiled and roared, bursting out bursts of astonishing natural, fire elemental divine power from time to time. If it weren't for the peerless divine power of the Huiyin Shinrikyo to shackle the magma, a magma eruption would have caused a huge disaster. Caves were built around the mountains. They were the weapon refinement caves of the fiery divine sun sex artifact refining dojo. Buzz! In Yin Senshin's body, Su Fang sensed the rich, great, pregnant purple chi in the interior of the volcano and the treasure refining dojo. The purple chi Dharma spirit had already merged with his chest and was trembling nonstop, as if it was about to burst out. I was right to come to Huiyin Shinrikyo this time. Su Fang was very excited. If he devoured all the great pregnant purple chi here, to what extent would the purple chi Dharma spirit merge with his body? If he absorbed the great pregnant purple chi, the purple chi Dharma spirit would continue to transform, which would speed up the fusion between Su Fang and his magic treasures, and make it easier to activate any magic treasures. The Xianming Thunder Archive, the Underworld Samsara Sword, the Heavenly Cauldron of Creation, and especially the Jinlong Realm. Su Fang had so many peerless Taoist instruments, but due to the limitations of his cultivation, he could only activate a part of their power. Su Fang estimated that if he devoured the great pregnant purple chi here, the purple chi Dharma spirit would transform again. With his current cultivation of the immortal realm, he would be able to activate half of the Xianming Thunder Archive's power, not to mention the other magic treasures. Great Elder, please go ahead. I would like to visit the treasure refining dojo. Yin Senshin said, "Then do as you wish." Although the Great Elder was a little surprised, he did not suspect anything. He walked into a treasure refining dojo. There were 3 cauldrons in this treasure refining dojo, and hundreds of disciples were cultivating and refining. When they saw Yin Sunshin enter, they all stood up in unison. Everyone cupped their fists together and bowed. "Greetings, Senior Brother Yin Sunshin. I will be temporarily borrowing this treasure refining dojo for a few days. You may all go." Yin Sunshin waved his hand and said majestically, "Senior Brother Yin, it's our great honor to be able to use this artifact cave. Senior Brother Yin, please feel free to use it. Even if you have to use it for thousands of years, it's fine." The disciple in charge of this artifact cave tried his best to curry favor with him. Everyone quickly left the treasure refining dojo. After creating a barrier on the door of the treasure refining dojo, Su Fang came out of Yin Senshin's body. He came before the 3 cauldrons and activated them, releasing the purple Chi Dharma spirit's godly power and absorbing the mysterious and illusory great pregnant purple Chi in the cauldrons and the treasure refining dojo. The faint, great pregnant purple chi flowed into the upper half of his body and into the purple chi Dharma spirit. The purple chi Dharma spirit that had fused with the meridians of the upper half of his body vibrated, roared and boiled crazily, appearing unusually excited. It also continued to fuse with the flesh and meridians of the upper half of his body. After a few days, the great pregnant purple chi in the treasure refining dojo was completely devoured. Then Su Fang used Yin Senshin's identity again to enter the next treasure refining dojo. Just like that, he kept changing treasure refining dojo and devouring the great pregnant purple chi. The purple chi Dharma spirit was slowly growing and transforming. Chapter 13:16. It continued to devour the great pregnant purple gas. About 5 years later, in the Huiyin Shinrikyo's treasure refining hall, there were thousands of large and small weapon caves. Su Fang had walked through all of them and absorbed almost all of the great pregnant purple gas. The fusion of Su Fang and the purple gas Dharma spirit had extended from his chest to his abdomen and head. Now his entire upper body was filled with the purple gas Dharma spirit. It was a worthwhile trip. This trip to the Huyin Shinrikyo had not yet obtained the Thousand Illusion Starfire, but it had allowed the purple gas Dharma spirit to transform again and fuse with his body to such an amazing extent. It was a worthwhile trip. The purple gas Dharma spirit was formed by absorbing the great pregnant purple gas of countless magic treasures. The purple gas Dharma spirit was born from the countless magic treasure spirits. Now that Su Fang's body and the purple gas Dharma spirit had fused to such an extent, the purple gas Dharma spirit's ability to control and fuse magic treasures would be added to Su Fang's body. In this way, it would be easier for his body to control all kinds of magic treasures. If he obtained the third part of the purple gas Dharma spirit, it was estimated that with Su Fang's current realm immortal cultivation, he would be able to cross several realms and activate King Grey Dao instruments that even some peerless giants could not fully activate. He could even activate a large number of magic treasures at the same time. This was just Su Fang's estimation. When he obtained the third part of the purple gas Dharma spirit and truly fused with it, it would definitely bring about more shocking abilities. For example, the combination of the purple gas Dharma spirit and the Emperor's Qi would give Su Fang unparalleled Emperor's luck. He would have the ability to turn misfortunes into blessings and eliminate disasters. Soon, Immortal Emperor Tianong. It won't be long before I openly kill my way into the heavenly Tao immortal realm and take back the purple gas Dharma spirit that originally belonged to Su Fang. Su Fang's eyes were hale and hearty, and his body exuded a strong sense of confidence. When he first learned that the third part of the purple gas Dharma spirit had been given to immortal Emperor Tianong by Huang Lingyao, he had been in despair and fear, thinking that there was no hope of getting it back. In just a few hundred years, he had grown from the initial weakling to the point where he could challenge the immortal emperor. Such progress was enough to make him feel proud and confident of the future. It's time to find the Thousand Illusions Starfire's main body and suppress it. Leaving the artifact refining Tao field, he went straight to the fire-amplifying Divine Palace. Inside the main peak of Huyin Shinrikyo was the treasure-refining Tao field, while the fire-amplifying God Palace was in the underground world of magma. Using Yin Senshin's identity token, he passed through the array formation and stepped into the lava flow of the volcano. The scorching heat surged towards him, wanting to burn his body into ashes. Fortunately, Yin Senshin's identity medallion had a protective divine power. Furthermore, Yin Senshin's fire elemental cultivation technique was extraordinary. The moment he entered the lava, the protective divine power released by the medallion immediately extended out a path through the boiling lava. The second primordial spirit controlled Yin Senshin's cultivation base to release a fire elemental magic treasure and flew slowly. Phew! They arrived at the lava world below the volcano. It turned out that there was another world here. Not all lava was below the volcano. There were also rocks and pieces of land condensed from rocks. However, they were all crimson in color. The high temperature was really amazing. Being in this environment was like being barbecued, and true Qi was dissipating. The only spiritual Qi that could be absorbed was the spiritual Qi of fire. Except for cultivators who cultivated fire elemental cultivation techniques, other immortals, even immortal emperors, did not dare to stay here for long. If they stayed for too long, their true Qi would be exhausted and they would die here. Flying continuously in the lava world, Su Fang used the fused Thousand Illusions Starfire as the source to sense the main body's aura. To his surprise, he found that the main body of the Thousand Illusions Starfire was very deep in the lava world. It was very illusory and fluctuating. It seemed that it was not an easy task to capture the main body of the Thousand Illusions Starfire. While searching for the Thousand Illusions Starfire, Su Fang also further integrated the true dragon realm. The transformation of the purple Qi Dharma spirit had brought amazing benefits to Su Fang. His ability to control the true dragon realm had obviously improved by a large margin. In the past, Su Fang could at most cover the true dragon realm with his consciousness. Now, he could activate the power of the magic treasure to suppress some monsters. There are too many dangers in this lava world. The high temperature of the lava, the fiery chi in the lava world, the strange and powerful thousand illusion starfire, and many other unknown dangers. Just the identity of Yin Sun Shin is far from enough. The experts under me are also restricted here. Why don't I go to the lava domain of the true dragon realm first and suppress some fiery rock monsters? They can come in handy at any time. Su Fong made up his mind. With a thought, the inner formation of the true dragon realm directly teleported his body to the lava domain. This was the world of his magic treasure. There was no need to fly at all. Wherever he wanted to go, he just had to think, and the formation would directly send him there. It was as fast as his consciousness traveling through the void. The magma domain of the true dragon realm was an extreme environment caused by the destruction of magical treasures, the imbalance of energy and dharma laws, or the chaos. It was similar to some extremely dangerous extraterrestrial lands, but much more dangerous than the magma world below the fire overflowing divine sun sect. The land within a radius of thousands of miles was filled with tumbling lava. Lava was constantly spurting out. The power of the flame shrouded the space, forming amazing shackles of divine power. Even if a celestial emperor expert came here, it would be difficult for him to fly. At the same time, his cultivation would be suppressed. When he first passed through this domain, Su Fong suffered a lot and almost lost his life. At this time, he was already the master of the true dragon realm. Not only would he not be shackled, but with the transformation of the purple chi dharma spirit, he could also control the shackles of divine power in the space. Whoosh! Su Fong directly appeared on a rock that emerged from the lava. Roar! One after another, huge fire rock monsters emerged from the lava. The fiery rock monsters were the amalgamation of fire elemental and earth elemental monsters. Their bodies were made of fiery red rocks, and amazing flames were constantly spurting out from their bodies. The smaller ones were about 30 to 40 feet tall, and their combat strength was at the level of a mystic immortal cultivator. The bigger ones were about 50 to 60 feet tall, and their strength was even more amazing, reaching the level of a powerful elder. Last time, Su Fong had encountered a fiery rock monster that was more than 100 feet tall, reaching the astonishing height of a celestial emperor. There were many fiery rock monsters, and they were very difficult to kill. In addition, they had an absolute advantage in the lava domain. If he could suppress a group of them, they would become an amazing force for Su Fong in the underground lava world of Huoyin Shinrikyo. Boom, 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 boom. The fiery rock monsters strode towards Su Fong on the rocks, creating a series of rumbling sounds. In addition, the flames spurting out from the cracks in their bodies gave Su Fong a strong visual impact. Good monsters, you will all be my subordinates from now on. Su Fong was very excited and immediately urged the true dragon realm's divine might. At the same time, he also burst out with an amazing emperor's divine might, which shrouded more than a dozen fiery rock monsters. I'm the lord of the true dragon realm. Everything in the true dragon realm must submit to me. Why don't you submit? With a cold shout, all the power in the entire space, as well as the divine might of flames that filled this domain, plus Su Fong's own emperor's divine might, all shrouded these fiery rock monsters. Asterisk ka ka, asterisk boom. Under the amazing pressure of the shackles, the fiery rock monsters made cracking sounds and spurted out roaring flames from their mouths. In the end, they all knelt on the ground and bowed their heads. Su Fong took the opportunity to shoot out a mark seed into the heads of these fiery rock monsters. In this way, they became slaves under Su Fong's control. He did not put these fiery rock monsters into the crucible transformation realm. The true dragon realm was Su Fong's Tao artifact world. If he put these fiery rock monsters here, he could release them with just a thought. Moreover, the magma was more suitable for the growth of these fiery rock monsters. In the future, they could also recover from their injuries in the magma. In this way, Su Fong suppressed and soon subdued tens of thousands of fiery rock monsters. The largest number was equivalent to the profound immortal realm. There were more than 300 elders and 5 immortal Emperor realm monsters. This force was extremely powerful for Su Fong at this time. Moreover, in a special environment like the magma, it would have amazing combat strength. In the magma domain, there were some fiery rock monsters whose strength had reached the peak of the immortal Emperor realm. Su Fong tried several times but failed. These powerful fiery rock monsters also had a strong consciousness. When they sensed that something was wrong, they immediately drilled into the magma. This was also related to Su Fong's inability to fully control the true dragon realm. If I can subdue all these powerful fiery rock monsters and suppress the monsters in the other domains of the true dragon realm one by one, my strength will soar again. It's just a matter of time before I sweep through this immortal domain. Su Fong's heart was full of expectations. After subduing a large number of fiery rock monsters, Su Fong began to prepare to move the treasure refining palace to the magma domain. This was a good place for refining tools. The second primordial spirit controlled Yin Senshin's body and flew continuously in the underground magma world of Huayin Shinrikyo. Half a month later, a huge rocky area of 100 miles appeared in front of him. On top of the rocks, a magnificent palace stood. It was the core of Huayin Shinrikyo's cultivation palace, the fire-amplifying divine palace. Su Fong did not plan to cultivate in the fire-amplifying divine palace. When he was about to take a detour, more than 10 Huayin Shinrikyo cultivators noticed Yin Senshin and flew out of the fire-amplifying divine palace. Young Master Yin, the leading immortal emperor expert, cupped his fists at Yin Senshin in a very polite manner. Yin Senshin cupped his fists in return. I want to enter the depths of the magma to find some fire elemental spiritual objects for cultivation. I wonder if you can make an exception? The immortal emperor expert smiled and said, Young Master Yin is too polite. Is there any place in Huayin Shinrikyo that you can't go? Do you want to send a few elders to accompany you? No need. Yin Senshin turned and was about to leave. The immortal emperor expert suddenly said, There are a total of 12 fire vein essence lotuses in the depths of the magma. They have been matured by the sex experts using Dao tools. The fire vein essence lotuses are our Huayin Shinrikyo's supreme treasures for cultivation. Perhaps young Master Yin will come across them by chance and take a few for cultivation. Fire vein essence lotuses? In Yin Senshin's body, Su Fong was surprised and happy. The fire vein essence lotuses were treasures that only grew in dangerous places with fire veins. They grew and bloomed only after tens of thousands of years. They were very rare and were the best treasures for fire elemental cultivators. Su Fong had luckily obtained a few petals of the fire vein essence lotuses in the Silent Flame Plains and used them to cultivate the fire cloud emperor physique and the black lotus true body. He also cultivated the pure yang true fire with the yang meridian. If he used all 12 fire vein essence lotuses to cultivate, wouldn't his fire cloud emperor physique and the black lotus true body be further improved? The power of the 9 suns immortal fire would also be multiplied, and its power would be closer to the 9 suns true fire released by an origin essence saint. He might even be able to use it to break through to the 30th yang meridian. It was worth it. This trip to Huayin Shinrikyo was totally worth it. The 12 fire vein essence lotuses are all mine, Su Fong. Su Fong's eyes were burning. He was determined to get the fire vein essence lotuses. Give me the coordinates, Yin Senshin said as he turned around. The Huayin Shinrikyo immortal emperor expert handed Yin Senshin a rune talisman that recorded the exact coordinates of the 12 fire vein essence lotuses. Thank you. Yin Senshin will repay you generously in the future. Chapter 13:17. Leaving the fire overflowing divine palace. Su Fong came out of Yin Senshin's body, put on the bronze mask, and changed into a flaming robe, pretending to be a Huayin Shinrikyo disciple. He took out his feather fan and went with Yin Senshin to the coordinates of the fire vein essence lotus. At the same time, he was constantly sensing the aura of the 1,000 illusion star fire in the lava world, but the result disappointed Su Fong. It turned out that under the material continent of Huayin Shinrikyo, a large part of it was lava, and the terrain was very complicated. There were patches of land connected by rocks, lava caves, waterfalls, and other dangerous places, and even more lava torrents. The Thousand Illusion Starfire was ever-changing, and it was very difficult to sense its exact location in a short time. However, Su Fong had a way to make the Thousand Illusion Starfire appear. When the time came, he would activate the aura of the Thousand Illusion Starfire, and the main body would definitely appear. Therefore, Su Fong was not in a hurry. He would get the Fire Vein Essence Lotus first. The lava torrent suddenly increased, forming a huge lava waterfall in front of him. The momentum was great, and the rumbling sound shook the sky. According to the coordinates, there was a Fire Vein Essence Lotus in a flame cave under the lava waterfall. Activating the fire element to form a defense, Su Fong came to the top of the abyss where the lava waterfall flowed into. He used his great perfection ability and saw that behind the lava torrent, there were a dozen figures in a cave. They were the Huayin Shinrikyo experts who were picking the Fire Vein Essence Lotus. Whoosh! Su Fong did not take the risk to go through the lava waterfall and enter the flame cave. Instead, he returned to the top of the lava torrent and stood behind Yin Sunshin, waiting patiently. About a month later, whoosh, 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 figures flew out of the abyss one after another. Among them, there were a few Huayin Shinrikyo experts who were burning with flames. Some of them had used fire element magic, while others had been burned by the lava when they passed through the lava waterfall. Their aura field had been shattered, and their physical body had suffered heavy injuries. Although we lost 3 of our fellow disciples, we finally ripened the Fire Vein Essence Lotus and successfully harvested it. If we hand it over to the sect, we will definitely be rewarded. If we harvest all the Fire Vein Essence Lotuses, we might even be rewarded by the leader. Haha! The leader of the group, an old man, laughed loudly and excitedly. The others also laughed loudly. Suddenly, he saw 2 silhouettes in front of him. More than a dozen Huayin Shinrikyo cultivators were flying toward him in a flash. Flame young master, why do you have the time to come to this underground world of lava? The old man cupped his fists and said politely. He was also an immortal emperor expert and was definitely a powerful great elder in the sect. Yin Sunshin stretched out a hand and said indifferently, "Give it to me." The old man asked in surprise, "What?" Yin Sunshin said indifferently, "Give me all of the Fire Vein Essence Lotus." The old man said in a deep voice, "Yin Sunshin, you should know that these Fire Vein Essence Lotuses need nearly 100,000 years to mature. They are peerless treasures that the sect values very much. They must be handed over to the sect. How can you ask for it so casually? I'm expanding the territory of Huayin Shinrikyo. What's the big deal if I take a few Fire Vein Essence Lotuses? If you don't agree, you can report it to me." Yin Senshin's voice was filled with supreme dominance and arrogance. What a strong and domineering Yin Sunshin. The cultivators of the fire overflowing Divine Sun sect were enraged. No matter how powerful Yin Shinshin was in the sect, at this moment, she was openly seizing the Fire Vein Essence Lotus that they had painstakingly obtained. Their contributions had completely turned into nothingness. At this moment, they couldn't care less. The old man's eyes were burning with anger. He was obviously very angry. One of them secretly sent a Yuan spirit message to the old man. Yin Xian is arrogant and despotic. No matter what, he is only a disciple of a venerable one. How dare he act so arrogantly in front of us? If he really becomes the leader of the fire overflowing Divine Sun sect, will there be a place for us great elders and elders? Why don't we take advantage of the fact that there's no one around? The old man hesitated. Yin Sunshin had one of the 10 great Taoist artifacts, the twin swords of destruction. It wouldn't be easy to kill him. Besides, he was like the sun in the sky in Huayin Shinrikyo. If news of him leaked out, no one here would be able to survive. Suddenly, Yin Sunshin said in a majestic voice, "If you want to silence me, this is a good opportunity. If you miss it, you won't have another chance." His primordial spirit was so powerful that sending a voice transmission at such a close distance was no different from shouting in his ear. He can hear the voice of the primordial spirit. The Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators were all shocked and looked at Yin's son Shin in surprise. Young Master Yin, you must be joking. You are now the first person after the leader and the only candidate for the future leader. While we have other thoughts about you, it's just the fire vein essence lotus. It belongs to the sect anyway. You can have it. The old man smiled casually and took out a storage ring and threw it to Yin Sun Shin. Su Fong caught the fire vein essence lotus in his hand. After sensing it, Su Fong was overjoyed. There were 3 complete fire vein essence lotuses in the storage ring. It's done. Su Fong was very excited, but he didn't show it. He scanned the old man with the power of the full circle. Sensing the aura of the fire vein essence lotus on the old man, Su Fong raised his eyebrows and immediately said to the second primordial spirit, "There are still fire vein essence lotuses on him." Yin Sun Shin said coldly, "If you don't want to anger me, you'd better hand over all the fire vein essence lotuses." The old man turned pale with fright and once again fell into a state of intense shock. His gaze towards Yin Xian was filled with fear and reverence. The more he felt that Yin Xian was unfathomable, the more he did not dare to have any other thoughts. Another storage ring was handed over. There were indeed 2 more fire vein essence lotuses in it. Su Fong took them without hesitation and left with Yin Sun Shin. "Yin Sun Shin, you've gone too far." A Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivator didn't dare to speak out angrily until Yin Sun Shin was far away. The others were also indignant. The old man said in a deep voice, "Don't talk too much. The future Huiyin Shinrikyo will definitely be in this boy's pocket. It's unwise to offend him now." They would never have thought that Yin Sun Shin was just a walking corpse at this time, and that all 5 fire vein essence lotuses had fallen into Su Fong's hands. The fire vein essence lotus is such an amazing life spirit object. Previously, I had to take a huge risk just to obtain 7 petals. Now that I have 5 complete fire vein essence lotuses, I didn't have to waste any effort at all. This is great. I have to thank Yin Xinshin properly. If it weren't for his identity, how could it be so easy? Su Fong was very excited. What was the use of the fire vein essence lotus? Fire Cloud Emperor Physique. Black Lotus True Body. It could also be used to attack the Yang Meridian. The benefits of the fire vein essence lotus were too many. There are at least 7 more fire vein essence lotuses. I have to get them all. They hurried to the next coordinate. The underground world of lava in Huiyin Shinrikyo was a meteorite from 1,000,000 years ago. The fire spiritual chi was much richer and more abundant than that of the Silent Flame Plains. Otherwise, it would have been impossible to give birth to such a rare treasure like the 1,000 Illusion Starfire. Because of this, there were far more than 12 fire vein essence lotuses in the lava world. It was just that only so many had been accelerated this time. The Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators who were in charge of ripening and harvesting the fire vein essence lotuses were divided into 4 groups. The one just now was the first group, and the other 3 groups were scattered everywhere. They found the next coordinate. Su Fong was a little unlucky this time, not for any other reason, but because the fire vein essence lotuses had not been fully ripened, and the cultivators who were harvesting them did not have any. Whoosh, Su Fong and Yin Sun Shin appeared next to a boiling lava whirlpool. The third group of Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators who were harvesting the fire vein essence lotuses saw Yin Sun Shin and hurriedly came to greet them. After another round of forceful plundering, the harvest this time was not bad. They obtained 4 fire vein essence lotuses. Under the angry gazes of the Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators, Su Fong and Yin Sun Shin awkwardly left. Law suddenly spoke from the blood jade in his body. "Su Fong, do you know why you were so excited at this time, other than obtaining a treasure like the fire vein essence lotuses?" Su Fong had never thought about this and couldn't help but be stunned. After thinking for a moment, Su Fong suddenly realized, "Plunder, it's because I'm plundering others that makes me excited. Law, Am I becoming more and more evil? Evil? In the great immortal world, it's nothing more than you plunder others, and they plunder you. If you have power and power, you can plunder others as you wish. If you are weak, you will only have the fate of being plundered. What kind of person do you want to be? In Su Feng's mind, the scene of Prince Shui forcibly stripping magic treasures from his body in the small world surfaced. There is also the scene of Huang Fu Yinhai forcibly taking away the Ghost Feng wheel when he had just arrived at the constellation of Nine Heavens. There was also the scene of immortal Emperor Tian Ang's clone in the Demon Sealing Tower in the True Dragon Realm, where he had no choice but to painfully strip the purple cloud Dharma spirit, the cauldron of thunder punishment, and the Demon Sealing Emperor's heavenly seal. Since there is no other choice, then I will not be the weak one who is plundered. I will be the peerless powerhouse who plunder others. Su Feng's eyes flashed with a ruthless and decisive light. About 3 months later, passing through a shocking waterfall of lava, they entered a huge, flaming cave. The blazing flames were scorching hot, and there was a natural shackle of the divine power of fire that suppressed the cultivators' cultivation and eroded their true qi. Yin Sun Shin, who had been possessed by his second primordial spirit, had no choice but to activate a fire elemental immortal armor to resist the shackles that were everywhere. As Su Feng had devoured Yu Jingyan's body and obtained his Dao physique, he could suppress the fire elemental divine power around his body without using any fire elemental divine ability. Su Fengdao was shocked when he came to the depths of the cave. There was a large group of Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators gathered in the depths of the cave. There were more than 1,000 of them, and each of them had extraordinary strength. The weakest was at the level of a special disciple, while the rest were elders and great elders of the world immortal realm. There were also more than a dozen immortal emperors. There was also a peak immortal emperor among them. Su Feng had seen this person once before. It was the expert who was with Yin San Shin in the sealed land of the True Dragon Realm. At least half of the elite experts of Huiyin Shinrikyo were gathered here. More than a dozen immortal emperors were activating the formation and casting the supreme fire elemental divine ability, causing the lava to form a huge whirlpool. At the bottom of the whirlpool, there was a fiery red rock and a white lotus that was 3 feet tall. Its petals were snow white, and there were crimson meridians that were emitting a magnificent luster. Such a huge fire vein essence lotus. Su Feng was shocked, and his eyes flashed with vigor. This fire vein essence lotus was 3 to 4 times bigger than an ordinary one. It didn't grow on the flaming cliff like other fire vein essence lotuses, but grew inside the magma. It was extraordinary. How many tens of thousands of years did it take to give birth to such a peerless treasure? Buzz, all of a sudden, something happened to the life-shortening magic. Mysterious Tao symbols sparkled in Ji Hao's head, turning into a misty, unpredictable fiery light. This fire vein essence lotus, 1,000 illusions star fire. It turned out that this enormous fire vein essence lotus was actually the manifestation of the 1,000 illusions starfire's main body. Chapter 13:18. He had searched high and low for it, only to find it by chance. He had actually found the 1,000 illusion starfire here. This 1,000 illusion starfire is really extraordinary. After carefully sensing it with his great perfection realm ability, Su Feng couldn't help but exclaim. It was able to deceive thousands of Huiyin Shinrikyo experts, including a peerless peak immortal emperor. It was even possible that these Huiyin Shinrikyo experts' primordial spirits had already been affected by the 1,000 illusion starfire. The ability of the 1,000 illusion starfire was very strange. It could even seep into the space and even the sea of a person's divine aperture. Even Su Feng, who had the power of the great perfection realm, couldn't sense it, let alone other cultivators. Su Feng observed carefully. Sure enough, every Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivator's eyes were fiery red, as if there were 2 flickering flames hidden in them. Obviously, they had already been affected by the 1,000 illusion starfire. What a strange and powerful 1,000 illusion starfire's main body. At the same time, Su Feng also became alert. He had personally experienced the strange ability of the Thousand Illusion Starfire. If it wasn't for his second primordial spirit fusing the 5 runes in time, he would have almost lost his life. Moreover, he was facing the main body of the Thousand Illusion Starfire this time. How could he not be careful? Yin Sunshin, you're here too? The Huiyin Shinrikyo Peak Immortal Emperor saw Yin Sunshin and nodded at him. Asterisk swoosh. Asterisk everyone's gazes suddenly focused on Yin Sunshin. As for Su Fong, he was automatically ignored, thinking that he was an ordinary disciple following Yin Sunshin. You've come at the right time. Watch how I'm going to harvest this rare heavenly treasure that only appears once in a million years. The Peak Immortal Emperor was very proud as he dived towards the bottom of the lava. Rise! The Peak Immortal Emperor roared angrily. A wave of chi burst out, enveloping the bottom of the lava whirlpool. The huge fire vein essence lotus slowly rose along with the rock it was rooted on. Each and every one of the Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators revealed a look of excitement and ecstasy. Just as the fire vein essence lotus was about to fall into his hands, a stream of magma suddenly gushed out from the bottom of the whirlpool. The magma whirlpool in the surroundings also set off a huge wave, bursting with an astonishing natural fire element divine power. Numerous Huiyin Shinrikyo experts' divine abilities to restrain the magma were shattered. The rolling magma swirled around the body of the Peak Immortal Emperor, disappearing without a trace. The sudden turn of events left everyone dumbstruck and at a loss on what to do. What is the Thousand Illusion Star Fire trying to do? Su Fong was also caught off guard, still not making a move. A red-haired immortal emperor shouted with a thunderous voice, waking everyone up from their daze. Whoosh! They formed a formation and unleashed a shocking fire element divine art. Another whirlpool was formed in the magma, and the rocks at the bottom of the magma could be seen. The fire vein essence lotus was nowhere to be seen. The peerless, immortal emperor of Huiyin Shinrikyo was sitting cross-legged on the rock where the fire vein essence lotus used to grow. His eyes were closed, and his chi was void. His flaming Taoist robe had been completely burned by the magma. His body was naked, and his skin was fiery red. No one knew if he was dead or alive. There must be something strange. Su Fong activated the Great Perfection Realm ability and swept the Peak Immortal Emperor. In the next moment, Su Fong's eyes were filled with disbelief. This Peak Immortal Emperor of Huiyin Shinrikyo has been possessed by the Thousand Illusion Starfire? Unexpected. Shocking. It seems like the Thousand Illusion Starfire wants to use the body of this Huiyin Shinrikyo expert to escape from the world of magma. Su Fong speculated and deduced the intention of the Thousand Illusion Starfire. The Peak Immortal Emperor at the bottom of the whirlpool suddenly opened his eyes. Black smoke and magma spurted out from his 7 orifices. His body suddenly erupted with the divine might of natural fire, causing the magma around him to tumble violently. The magma surged to his feet and then lifted his body up rapidly. The flame cavern was originally filled with the shackles of the divine might of fire. The explosive chi of this immortal emperor merged with the shackles of the natural divine might, forming a domain of divine might that shrouded everyone in the cavern. Humans, the eyes of the Peak Immortal Emperor burst out with crimson divine light that shrouded everyone, and a faint voice that seemed to come from ancient times rang out. Humans have forced me to be torn apart. Huiyin Shinrikyo has imprisoned me for millions of years, absorbing my essence for cultivation. Today, I finally have the day to rise up. Ha ha ha! All of you will be my puppets. You will seize the exceptional flame for me, making me stronger and stronger. One day, I will be above you humans. The Peak Immortal Emperor burst into laughter. His voice had returned to normal, but there was a strange force in his voice, causing many Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators to be in a trance and their expressions to be blurred. The Peak Immortal Emperor revealed a look of struggle. Then he bit his tongue and spurted out a mouthful of blood essence, instantly waking up. A mere exceptional flame dares to be so arrogant. When you were suppressed, the peerless expert of Huoyin Shinrikyo had left a mark in your body. Not only can it absorb your fire essence, it can also suppress you at any time. Let's see how long you can be so arrogant. Show yourself now. With a furious roar, the immortal emperor put his palms together and struck out a peerless palm seal, forming an astonishing divine might that shrouded the peak immortal emperor. The latter roared. Flames and black smoke spurted out from his 7 orifices. He seemed to be in great pain. The immortal emperor sneered disdainfully. Who would have thought that in the next second, the peak immortal emperor strode forward and arrived in front of the immortal emperor in an instant. An astonishing divine might of fire essence burst out and struck the peak immortal emperor's body. The immortal emperor's chi field was instantly shattered. His body was sent flying and exploded. If I had the exceptional flame physique, your seal could still suppress me. But now, I have already possessed a powerful body. Who could do anything to me? All of you will become my puppets. The peak immortal emperor laughed loudly. His eyes shot out scarlet light, sweeping across the bodies of Huoyin Shinrikyo. In an instant, everyone's eyes lit up with an unpredictable red light, like a burning flame, but their bodies didn't change much. Greetings, Master. The cultivators of Huoyin Shinrikyo knelt on the ground and cried out in unison. At this time, everyone's consciousness was controlled by the 1,000 illusion star fire. I will also be free one day. One day, I will make all humans kneel at my feet. Ha! And you too, why don't you kneel? The peak immortal emperor's gaze was fixed on the 2 figures standing upright in the cave. His eyes were full of surprise. The 2 figures standing were naturally Su Fong and Yin Sun Shin, who was possessed by the 2nd primordial spirit. The 2nd primordial spirit was incomparably powerful. It could even suppress the primordial spirit of an immortal emperor expert. No matter how strange the ability of the 1,000 illusion star fire was, it couldn't affect the consciousness of an immortal emperor expert's primordial spirit. As for Su Fong, he had the experience of subduing the 1,000 illusion star fire. So, how could he not be prepared in advance when facing the main body? Therefore, he had already activated the heavenly devil blood plate, releasing the divine might of his primordial spirit to protect the ocean of his divine aperture. The ability of the 1,000 illusion star fire couldn't shake the heavenly devil blood plate and affect Su Fong's primordial spirit. Who are you? You are just a seed of exceptional flame. You want me, Su Fong, to kneel before you? Su Fong sneered coldly. It turns out that you are 2 human cultivators who have a strong primordial spirit. No wonder you're not affected by me. However, do you think you can fight against so many of my puppets? Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Thousands of Huoyin Shinrikyo cultivators under the control of the 1,000 illusion star fire unleashed their chi at the same time, converging into a terrifying wave of divine might of the fire element. Like a huge wave of magma, they rushed towards Su Fong. You want to compete in numbers? I have more men under me than you. One by one, the flaming rock monsters were moved out of the true dragon world by Su Fong and stood in front of him. Fortunately, the cave was big enough. Otherwise, there wouldn't even be room for them to stand. And this was only a part of the flaming rock monsters that Su Fong had suppressed. There were only about 3,000 of them. Ah, the divine light in the eyes of the peak immortal emperor changed instantly. More than 3,000 flaming rock monsters roared together, bursting out an astonishing divine might of the earth and fire elements, shattering the attacks of the Huoyin Shinrikyo cultivators. Damn it, how can a human control so many fire-type monsters? The 1,000 illusion star fire sensed that something was wrong. It controlled the surrounding magma flow like a flood, about to burst out a shocking divine might of the fire element. Asterisk swoosh. Asterisk the heavenly devil blood plate flew above the magma, releasing a terrifying divine might of the primordial spirit shackles. The 1,000 illusion star fire was unpredictable. It was good at creating fiery illusions that affected the consciousness of cultivators. Other divine abilities couldn't pose a threat to it. What was most afraid of was the attack of the primordial spirit. If it made a prompt decision to abandon the body of the peak immortal emperor that it had just seized, it could escape into the magma with its ever-changing ability. Then, Su Fong might not be able to do anything to it. However, the Thousand Illusion Star Fire had been shackled in the magma world for millions of years. It had finally found a chance to escape. How could it easily abandon the body that it had just seized? Moreover, it was quite confident that it could control the magma to kill Su Fong in this world of magma. Unfortunately, Su Fong didn't give a chance at all. He used the attack of the primordial spirit to deal with it. As a result, the body of the peak immortal emperor became shackles. It couldn't move at all. Asterisk swoosh. Asterisk the second primordial spirit shot out from Yin Senshin's glabella. It shuttled through the void in a flash and arrived in front of the peak immortal emperor. Asterisk chi 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 asterisk immediately after. A powerful primordial spirit attack was unleashed, releasing a vast amount of primordial spirit sword chi. It condensed into primordial spirit billows, setting off a gust of primordial spirit astral wind that fiercely impacted the ocean of the peak immortal emperor's divine aperture. How is this possible? How can a human have such a powerful primordial spirit? You are a supreme expert of immortal emperor, you. The Thousand Illusion Star Fire finally realized the impending danger. At first, it tried to use the divine aperture of the peak immortal emperor to defend itself. However, under the dual attacks of the second primordial spirit and the heavenly devil blood plate, the divine aperture's defense was quickly shattered. The second primordial spirit entered the divine aperture in a domineering manner and launched a great battle of seizing the body. It couldn't be called a great battle. It was completely crushed without any suspense. In less than 5 breaths, the second primordial spirit had shackled the consciousness of the Thousand Illusion Star Fire. Then, it drilled out from the glabella of the peak immortal emperor and returned to Yin Senshin's body. Then, it was absorbed into Su Fong's body. The peak immortal emperor was like a corpse, motionless. The surrounding magma that had gone out of control collapsed, forming huge waves of magma that swept in all directions with an earth-shattering force. Let's go. Su Fong had already expected this. He casually kept the corpse of the peak immortal emperor into the true dragon world and shot out like lightning. Before they were swallowed by the magma torrent, he kept all the Huiyin Shinrikyo experts into the true dragon world. Unfortunately, there was too little time left for Su Fong. It was impossible for him to keep all the experts. He could only keep as many as he could. As for those fiery rock monsters, Su Fong didn't care about them for the time being. The terrifying magma torrent was like a fish in water to them. How could it kill them? Asterisk Pooh asterisk Su Fong still paid the price for his greed. His back was swept by the magma, and he was sent flying. Chapter 1319. In the True Dragon World. Asterisk swoosh. Asterisk Su Fong appeared in the formation of the Dao sect. His back was swept by the fierce lava. His muscles were almost burned through, and even his internal organs were burned by the scorching flames. His meridians and internal organs were severely damaged. Asterisk hua hua hua. Asterisk his body suddenly collapsed and turned into a pool of blood. Then, it condensed back into its original state. The ghastly wounds on his body had disappeared, as if he had never been injured. However, Su Fong's face had turned pale. He had consumed some of his life qi just now. Currently, his body had astonishing vitality. The Black Lotus True Body, Blood Transformation True Body, and other physical abilities allowed him to recover much faster than ordinary cultivators. Plus, he had plenty of pills and resources that could replenish his life qi. With the devouring ability of the Yellow Spring Blood Sea, he could easily replenish his life qi. I shouldn't be too greedy. Su Fong shook his head and smiled bitterly. He began to remind himself that if he hadn't been greedy enough to take away those Huiyin Shinrikyo experts, this injury could have been completely avoided. Let's look at the harvest this time. Thinking of the harvest this time, Su Fong suddenly became excited. In the storage ring of the peak immortal emperor of fire overflowing divine sun sect, Su Fong found another 6 fire vein essence lotuses, a large pile of fire elemental spiritual items, and various Tao tools, pills, and other resources that this expert had accumulated throughout his life. Just the harvest from this expert alone was equivalent to the total wealth of 10 third-rate powers like Jinwu Manor. It was truly abundant. Su Fong cultivated the 9 changes of the 9 suns, the illusory fire cloud, and the black lotus true body. Of course, what he valued the most were the fire vein essence lotuses and those fire elemental spiritual items. There were a total of 15 fire vein essence lotuses, 3 more than he had expected. These 3 extra lotuses were naturally from the first batch of fire vein essence lotuses that the old man wanted to keep for himself. In the end, he couldn't escape from Su Fong's perfect sensing ability. 15 fire vein essence lotuses. Moreover, these fire vein essence lotuses were different from the ones that grew in other places. The effect of cultivating them would certainly be extraordinary. What kind of transformation would the illusory fire cloud, black lotus true body, and yang meridian undergo? This was especially true for the yang meridian, which was the source of the Su Fong's power and the focal point of cultivation. Once the yang meridian fused with so many fire meridian essence lotuses, the power of fire in the yang meridian would skyrocket. Just thinking about it made Su Fong feel a burst of uncontrollable excitement. They had really earned a lot this time. At the last moment, there were more than 200 Huiyin Shinrikyo experts who were taken into the True Dragon realm by Su Fong. All of them were powerhouses above the Elder Realm. For the time being, they were shackled in the Crucible Transformation realm by Su Fong. And these were only the additional rewards that Su Fong had obtained from his trip to Huiyin Shinrikyo. The greatest reward was naturally the Thousand Illusions Starfire's main body. With a flip of his palm, the peak immortal emperor of Huiyin Shinrikyo was released from his palm. Thousand Illusions Starfire, are you still not coming out? With a cold shout, a ball of flame the size of a fist was grabbed by Su Fong from the top of the peak immortal emperor's head. Activating the power of the Great Perfection Realm, Su Fong saw the true face of the Thousand Illusion Starfire for the first time through the external flame power. In the middle of the layers of flames, there was a 7-colored flame floating. It looked only the size of a fingernail, constantly changing into various strange phantoms. It didn't look like a flame, but a fiery light. This was the main body of the Thousand Illusion Starfire. The external flame was just the divine flame power released by this flame. As his consciousness approached the seed of the strange flame, Su Fong immediately had a feeling of being burned and destroyed, and also a terrible feeling of being lost in it. It was just a small seed of strange flame, but it was full of terrifying burning chi, unpredictable, and exuded a strange ability to confuse the consciousness of the primordial spirit. However, the consciousness of the Thousand Illusion Starfire had been shackled by the primordial spirit of the second primordial spirit, making it difficult for it to exert any power. Otherwise, with Su Fong's current divine flame power, he wouldn't be able to suppress it so easily, let alone integrate it. Luo reminded through the blood jade in his body. Don't forget that you are almost controlled by the Thousand Illusion Starfire in the Clear Sky Myriad Scroll Gate. Last time, it was just a seed flame. Now it's the main body. Don't try to integrate it directly. You can put in your mirror and refine it first. No matter how strong the Thousand Illusion Starfire is, it won't be stronger than the 9 Yang true flame in the mirror. Wait until it's almost fully refined, then slowly devour and integrate it. Luo, you're right. With a flip of his palm, the Origin Saint Mirror appeared in his hand. He activated the power of the 9 Yang in his body and entered the Origin Saint Mirror. Immediately, the mirror released a red light, sucking the Thousand Illusion Starfire into it. Next, it's time to integrate the Fire Vein Essence Lotus. Su Fong's heart was filled with anticipation. There was no need to refine the Fire Vein Essence Lotus into spirit liquid. He could just place it in the Yin Yang Dao Palace. This way, not only could the Yangdao Palace absorb the essence of the fire vein essence lotus, but the world fragment could also absorb it. He took out a fire vein essence lotus. He immediately absorbed it into his body and sent it into the yin-yang vortex formed by the 29 Yangdao wheels. The yin-yang Dao was currently trying to break through the 30th Yangdao vein. However, the 29th Yangdao vein had just been born. It would be a long time before another Yangdao vein was born. However, Su Fong suddenly obtained so many fire vein essence lotuses and the main body of the 1,000 illusion starfire, greatly reducing the time needed. He activated the 9 Yang, 9 transformations. The entire Yin-Yang Dao Palace immediately burned with astonishing 9 Yang immortal flames. A fire vein essence lotus was rapidly burned, turning into white flames. It fused with the 9 Yang immortal flames and drilled into the Yang Dao veins. The world fragment floating in the middle of the Yang Dao vein, the golden lotus stone flower, was related to the lotus and had a similar power. The fire vein essence lotus was also in the form of a lotus. Therefore, when the Yang Dao vein devoured the white flames of the fire vein essence lotus, the world fragment was also devouring it. After fusing with the fire vein essence lotus, the 9 Yang immortal flames became purer, denser, and more abundant. It burned in the yin-yang Dao wheel. At the same time, Su Fong cultivated the illusory fire cloud according to the cultivation technique. The fire cloud emperor physique was gradually maturing. The 9 Yang immortal flames fused with the lotus essence of the fire vein essence lotus. It also fused with the black lotus true body, causing the black lotus blood threads to also possess the 9 Yang immortal flames. Once it was activated, countless black lotus blood threads would burn. He was also trying to break through the 30th Yangdao vein. He believed that after fusing with so many fire vein essence lotuses and the 1,000 illusion starfire, a new Yangdao vein would be born soon. There were a total of 15 lotuses. It was impossible to fuse all of them in a short time. Su Fong was in no hurry to refine them. He peeled off a Yang immortal flame and came to a crucible transformation array. Since the 1,000 illusion starfire had been suppressed, the many experts of the Huayin Shinrikyo who were sucked into the crucible transformation array were freed from its control and regained consciousness. When they saw Su Fong appear, they were all stunned. "You're Su Fong." Some of the Huayin Shinrikyo experts recognized Su Fong at a glance. It was not surprising at all. Some of these experts were in the Heavenly Law Immortal World's royal city. They had witnessed the battle between Su Fong and Yin Sunxin. Of course, they were no stranger to Su Fong. Weren't you killed by Yin Sunxin? Didn't you die without a corpse? There was an uproar, shock, and horror. Su Fong sneered disdainfully. Yin Sunxin is a peerless genius of your Huayin Shinrikyo. However, to me, Su Fong, you're nothing. You want to kill me? Whoosh! A figure shuttled through the crucible transformation array and appeared in front of the Huayin Shinrikyo. Who else could this person be but Yin Sunxin? If you don't want to surrender, just kill them directly. Why go through so much trouble? Yin Sunxin's cold eyes swept over the crowd. His voice was full of killing intent. However, it was not the voice of Yin Sunxin, but the voice of Su Fong. Yin Sunxin has been killed by me. What you see now is just his corpse. You have 2 choices. Surrender to me or die. Su Fong said indifferently. These Huayin Shinrikyo cultivators were all powerful experts in the outside world. However, at this time, Su Fong did not consider them as powerful experts. He had many subordinates with such strength, so he did not bother to waste his breath on them. You want us to surrender to you? What kind of power is Huayin Shinrikyo? Which one of us does not have a high position in the sect? You want us to surrender to a little immortal world realm cultivator? Don't even think about it. With a roar, the Huayin Shinrikyo cultivators gnashed their teeth. If they were not in the inner world of the crucible transformation realm and were shackled by the power of the magic weapon, they would have pounced on Su Fong and eaten him. You won't shed tears until you see the coffin. Do you think you are the high and mighty great elders and elders of Huayin Shinrikyo? Not only have all of you become my prisoners, but even the fire overflowing divine sun sect is on the verge of destruction. Green Feather Emperor, Vermilion Emperor, Undying Tortoise, Heavenly Empyrean Apothecary, Demon King Black Ridge, and Shurqing? Xian? Leftover? Sacrifice? Whoosh! Whoosh! Several powerful big goblin subordinates of Su Fong entered the inner world of the Crucible Transformation Realm from the True Dragon Realm. These Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators are yours to deal with. If they are willing to surrender, then fine. If they are not willing to surrender, take them for cultivation and devour their cultivation and physical essence. Su Fong's essence, spirit, disappeared from the Crucible Transformation Realm. Master is so mighty. Now we can eat to our heart's content. Haha. The Green Feather Emperor and the other big goblins walked toward the Huiyin Shinrikyo experts with hideous grins. Su Fong was probably the only one in the entire great immortal world who treated the world immortal experts as cultivation resources for his subordinates to devour to improve. Whoosh! In the underground world of lava under Huiyin Shinrikyo, a 1-foot lotus pod flew out with a string of lava behind it. Then, Su Fong drilled out of the True Dragon Realm. The lotus-like True Dragon Realm turned into a speck of dust and fell into Su Fong's palm. Fire rock monsters, all of you come. A wisp of essence, spirit consciousness spread rapidly. Whoosh! 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 Giant monsters made of flames and rocks drilled out of the lava and were then sucked into the True Dragon Realm by Su Fong and sent back to the lava domain. Just as he was about to leave, buzz. The great perfection ability sensed that hundreds of cultivators had entered the huge cave where Su Fong was and were slowly flying toward him along the winding route. Su Fong hurriedly entered the True Dragon Realm and turned into a speck of dust and fell on a piece of flaming rock. At the same time, he separated a wisp of consciousness and paid attention to the movements outside with the help of his magic treasure. The figures of the Huiyin Shinrikyo experts appeared in the cave one after another. Among them, a young man was clustered in the center like a moon surrounded by stars. Su Fong sensed the vast aura of the tyrannical emperor's heaven-soaring technique from this person and was very familiar with this person's aura. This person's face was vaguely similar to Tranquility Emperor's. It was Tranquility Emperor's incarnation. Su Fong in the True Dragon Realm could not help but be surprised. Why is this incarnation of Tranquility Emperor here again? Lord Tranquility Emperor, Yin Sunshin, and a large number of elite experts of the sect finally appeared here. It seems that they really died here. A middle-aged man in a red robe from the Huiyin Shinrikyo said respectfully. This man's aura was vague, but if one carefully sensed it, one would find that he was an incarnation of a sea of fire. Apparently, he was also a strong, immortal emperor. The incarnation of Tranquility Emperor's incarnation said in a majestic voice, Yin Sunshin died, just like that? What a coincidence. He got Su Fong's body and then died inexplicably. Does Huiyin Shinrikyo think that I'm an idiot? Or maybe the Huiyin Shinrikyo has other ideas because the Tranquility Emperor's mansion and the Heavenly Law Immortal Realm are in a fierce battle. The Tranquility Emperor's mansion and the Heavenly Law Immortal Realm are in an all-out war? It seems that I have ignited the fire, and this immortal realm is completely in turmoil. Su Fong was shocked, and his eyes were bright. Chapter 1320. After failing to find Yin Sunshin in the cave, Tranquility Emperor left angrily. Why? Su Fong was related to the body of the supreme powerhouse in the sealed land of the giant battle canyon, and the whereabouts of the powerhouses of the 8 forces who entered the canyon. Not only Tian-Ong Immortal Emperor, but also Tranquility Emperor believed that Su Fong was in the hands of Yin Sunshin. Who would believe that something happened to Yin Sunshin? Huiyin Shinrikyo was in big trouble this time. Not only did they offend Tian Dao Immortal Realm, but they also offended Tranquility Emperor and became the focus of the 8 forces. How could they not be in big trouble? A large number of the sect's elite powerhouses had just been annihilated by the Thousand Illusion Starfire Matrix, and now they had provoked such a big trouble. The days of the Firebreak Divine Sun sect were going to be difficult. Some people kept cursing Yin Sun Shin in their hearts. If it weren't for him, how could Huiyin Shinrikyo fall into such a situation? The leader of Huiyin Shinrikyo was worried and led everyone out of the cave. Whoosh! Su Fong came out of the Jinlong realm. From the blood jade in his body came Law's praise. Tian Dao, Immortal Realm, and Tranquility Emperor's Mansion are the two realm lords of the Xianao Great World. The war this time will soon affect all forces in the Immortal Realm, and diabolism will certainly not stay idle. This Immortal Realm has fallen into a big turmoil. Who would have thought that it was you who stirred up the wind and clouds? Su Fong smiled. It has nothing to do with me. I have been killed by Yin Sun Shin. Tian Dao, Immortal Realm, and Xianao Great World are not enough. I need to add fuel to the fire. You are so insidious. Isn't it all thanks to your teaching? From the underground magma world, they rushed to the external Taoist field of Huiyin Shinrikyo. On the way, they met a lot of Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators who were searching for Yin Sun Shin. Su Fong sensed them in advance and avoided them carefully. When they met a Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivator who was alone, they directly controlled the consciousness of the second primordial spirit with the ability of Night Demon, and then took Su Fong into their body. They left the underground magma world calmly, and then shuttled through the formation and left Huiyin Shinrikyo. With the war between Tranquility Emperor's Mansion and Tian Dao Immortal Realm, the Xianao Great World. Tranquility Emperor, Immortal Emperor, Su Fong, I won't get involved. The matter of the Flame Immortal's heart has been satisfactorily resolved. Next, I should make a trip to the Lightning World and look for the Thunder's fury. Tranquility Immortal Realm, Tian Dao Immortal Realm, and then Tranquility Emperor's Mansion, and Tian Dao Immortal Realm. After thinking for a while, Su Fong had a clear plan in his mind. If he subdued the Thousand Illusion Starfire and combined with the Thunder Sky Immortal Flame, he would definitely be able to produce a few more Yang Meridians. His Fire Cloud Emperor physique would also undergo a transformation. Even if it was not fully mature, it would at least be close to completion. At that time, the power of the Nine Suns' immortal fire would be even more powerful. Zhu Tian, Thunderworld. It was a dangerous extraterritorial place at the edge of the Great Qin Immortal Realm. From here to Zhu Tian Thunderworld, one would almost have to cross this immortal realm. On the way, one would have to pass through many immortal realms, dangerous extraterritorial places, and ruins. According to the normal speed of ordinary immortal realm cultivators, it would take at least 500 years for a round trip, and this did not include the various dangers that one might encounter. Although Su Fong could not be compared to ordinary people, it would still take 100 or 200 years for a round trip. Before leaving the Xianao Great World, some arrangements must be made. Su Fong suddenly formed a seal. A Xian Guang bloomed between his palms, condensing into the shadow of Wang Yuzhen's primordial spirit, vivid and lifelike. Wang Yuzhen's primordial spirit was very surprised. Su Fong, the Tian Dao Immortal Realm, and Emperor Ning's mansion are in full swing. Where did you go? Why can't I contact you? Su Fong asked, how's the situation now? It turned out that after Su Fong went to Huiyin Shinrikyo, Emperor Ning and Immortal Emperor Tianong had a great battle that shook the heavens. In the end, Immortal Emperor Tianong retreated back to the Tian Dao Immortal Realm. In order to avenge Crown Prince Siwei, Emperor Ning did not spare him and directly declared war on the Tian Dao Immortal Realm. A great battle broke out. The Tian Dao Immortal Realm was not the constellation of 9 heavens. Its foundation was as strong as Emperor Ning's mansion. The collision of the two giants shook the heavens and the earth and shook the immortal realm. The great battle attracted many hidden giants of the Xianao Great World and also involved many sects, families, and cultivation forces. The Clear Sky Myriad Scroll Gate also announced an alliance with the Tian Dao Immortal Realm. However, there were no other macro worlds joining the alliance. In a short time, it was hard to tell who was better. Su Fong said with a cold sneer. Immortal Emperor Tianong was defeated by Emperor Ning. This was expected, but I didn't expect that the clear sky myriad scroll gate would completely side with the Tian Dao immortal realm. They're digging their own graves. The more chaotic the world is, the more money can be made. Hee, Su Fong, you can count on me this time, Wang Yuzhen said with a smile, looking like a money grubber. I'll let the treasure refining dojo and the alchemy dojo refine magic weapons and elixirs. You can operate outside in exchange for all kinds of resources. Su Fong was also very excited that the time to make a fortune had come. However, the problem was how to deliver the magic weapons and elixirs refined in the Lightning World and Jinlong World to Wang Yuzhen. However, Wang Yuzhen said with a smile, "Don't worry about this. The Hongxing Hall Chamber of Commerce is spread all over the immortal realm. You can directly deliver the goods to them." This was also a good idea. However, Su Fong still reminded her, "You have to remember that we are in a cooperative relationship with the Hongxing Hall Chamber of Commerce. You can use their strength, but don't be controlled by them." Wang Yuzhen patted her chest and said, "Don't worry. Don't you know who I am?" The shadow of Wang Yuzhen's primordial spirit was so vivid that it caused waves to surge in front of her chest. This made Su Fong's heart beat rapidly. He hurriedly dispersed the Xianguang and ended the communication. It seems that the fire of war hasn't been completely ignited. I have to find a way to add more fuel to the fire. Su Fong had another idea. Looking back at the Inferno Immortal Realm where Huiyin Shinrikyo was located, Su Fong's eyes revealed a ruthless look. Swish! Swish! One by one, experts were released from the Jinlong realm by Su Fong. These experts were all subdued by Su Fong in the God-burying enclosure. Some came from the Tranquility Emperor's residence, the heavenly Dao immortal realm, and the other 8 forces from other worlds. Su Fong emitted the aura of an overlord and said in a majestic voice, "I order you all to return to your former forces immediately. We obey Master's order." Although the experts from the 8 forces were somewhat confused, they still responded in unison without hesitation. Each of these experts had extraordinary strength. Some of them were immortal emperors. They were considered big shots in their former forces. However, they'd witnessed Su Fong's overall strength, and they were very clearly aware that Su Fong's future accomplishments would absolutely not be limited to this immortal region. By following such a master, they would definitely rise along with him, and they'd long since looked down upon the powers they were in. Over the years, they had enjoyed all kinds of cultivation resources that were difficult to enjoy in the past, so they had long since given up any thoughts of rebellion. At this time, they had all submitted to Su Fong from the bottom of their hearts. Only then did Su Fong feel relieved to assign tasks to them. You have 2 tasks. The first is to bring news to your former forces that you have just escaped from Huiyin Shinrikyo. Su Fong, as well as the body of the supreme expert in the sealed land, has all fallen into the hands of Yen Sun Shin and Huiyin Shinrikyo. The second task is to continue to stay in your former forces. When I return from the Lightning Realm and sweep through this immortal realm, you will be my spies. Yes, the experts bowed in response, then broke through the sky and disappeared into the vast star fog. In the Blood Jade, Law sighed and said, "Su Fong, you are pushing Huiyin Shinrikyo into the fire pit. Yen Sun Shin offended you. Not only did he lose his life, but even his sect also spread rumors. Ruthless, you are too ruthless." Su Fong lightly said, "My true intention is not to stay in Huiyin Shinrikyo, but to throw a bone to the 8 forces so that they can bite each other and completely ignite the flames of war in this immortal realm. Letting those masters go back as spies is also to prepare for my return from the Lightning Realm and sweep through the 8 forces. The 8 forces are fighting to the death, but you leave the vortex of war and go to the Lightning Realm. When both sides are wounded, you will be the Oriole behind. Su Fong, your actions are becoming more and more like an overlord." But what? Law reminded him. "Your current strength is not strong enough to sweep through the immortal realm. Moreover, you have to guard against the demons and demonic cultivators. You temporarily stopped the demon army from entering the immortal realm at Demon Dawn Fortress, but you can only stop them for a while. You have to prevent the demons from taking advantage of the chaos in the immortal realm and looting the burning house. If you are not strong enough, you can annex other forces and continue to strengthen yourself. As for the demons, Tranquility Emperor Mansion, Heavenly Law Immortal Realm, and other World Lord forces, for their own benefits, will they not hesitate to make secret deals with the demons and hope that they can resist the invasion of the demons? After a moment of silence, Su Fong's eyes revealed an incomparable firmness. Rather than this, it is better to completely destroy these forces. I, Su Fong, will block the demon army and protect the safety of this immortal realm. His voice was filled with a heroic spirit that soared to the heavens, a domineering aura that looked down on the world. He released the Blue Feather Emperor from the True Dragon Realm. The last time he had the Blue Feather Emperor go to the constellation of 9 heavens to gather information, he had been heavily injured. Fortunately, Su Fong did not lack all sorts of recovery pills and spirit items. He had also swallowed the body of an immortal emperor-level powerhouse. Now, not only had he completely recovered, but he had also become stronger than before. Blue Feather Emperor, this trip to the Lightning Realm will have to trouble you, Su Fong said apologetically. As a flying winged demon emperor, traveling the void is something that I have always dreamed of. What trouble is there? The Blue Feather Emperor said proudly, and then turned into an incomparably huge green pong. Su Fong entered the True Dragon Realm, and then the True Dragon Realm turned into a speck of dust and fell into the feathers on the Blue Feather Emperor's head. Whoosh! A ray of green light set off a wave of spatial fluctuations and disappeared in the void. What? Su Fong was really captured alive by the Yin Sen Shin. The bodies of the supreme powerhouses in the giant battle canyon, as well as various treasures, have all fallen into the hands of the Huoyin Shinrikyo. As the experts under Su Fong returned to their former forces, the news that they brought back immediately caused a huge uproar in the Immortal Realm. The Tranquility Emperor Mansion and Heavenly Law Immortal Realm temporarily stopped fighting and sent out peerless experts to Huoyin Shinrikyo. The various forces of the Great Qin Immortal Realm, Yuanlu Realm, Sky Bearing Realm, the Qian Immortal Realm, and other realms also moved out. The Heavenly Demon Mountain and the 9 Sea Demon Sect also heard the news and moved out. Among them, there were even peerless experts of the resurrected demon clan mixed in and went straight to Huoyin Shinrikyo. Yin Senshin's whereabouts were unknown, and Huoyin Shinrikyo did not even see Su Fong's shadow, let alone the body of some supreme powerhouse. Even if they were forced to hand over the body of a supreme powerhouse, they could not even give up a single strand of hair. However, they did not have the time to explain. For a moment, the Huoyin Shinrikyo was caught in a whirlpool and faced the disaster of annihilation. Many forces came for the same purpose, and it was impossible for them not to clash with each other. A small conflict could cause a huge fire to burn the entire immortal realm. Chapter 1321. At the end of the Great Qin Immortal World, the void sky was filled with chaotic natural forces, forming huge shackles that shrouded every corner of the space. The void turbulence swept up nebulas and material fragments, wreaking havoc like a hurricane. Asterisk whoosh. Asterisk the Green Feather Emperor's huge body emerged from a turbulent vortex. The Green Feather Emperor's innate ability was to control the power of space. However, he looked exhausted at the moment. Feathers had fallen from many places on his body, and there were traces of scratches caused by the void turbulence. It took the Green Feather Emperor nearly 50 years to leave the immortal AO Great World, cross this immortal domain, and reach the Great Qin Immortal World. Even a peak immortal emperor would find it difficult to achieve such an astonishing speed. World immortals had the ability to break through space, but even a peak immortal emperor would not dare to use it recklessly in the extraterritorial space that was full of spatial turbulence. If they were not careful, they would be swept into an unknown extraterritorial space, and that would be troublesome. Asterisk chi. Asterisk, a colorful lotus seed pod flew out from the feathers on the green feather emperor's head. Then, Su Fong flew out from the lotus seed pod. Su Fong's body was bursting with tribulation chi. It turned out that he was about to break through the peak of the first Dao world immortal realm and advance to the second Dao world immortal realm. Su Fong took nearly 100 years to break through from a ninth tribulation to the world immortal realm. It was much slower than when he was in the heavenly immortal realm. However, compared to other cultivators who needed tens of thousands of years to advance to the next level, it was extremely shocking. This advancement was all thanks to the Tranquility Emperor's arm and the demonic hand of demon venerable Ancient Ming. After Su Fong's continuous devouring with the yellow spring blood sea, the arm had been completely merged, and the demonic hand had been devoured by half. After devouring abundant and pure life essence, not only did the yellow spring blood sea transform again and again, cultivating the tyrannical emperor's heaven-soaring technique also transformed the emperor's chi. Now, he was finally about to advance to the second Dao world immortal realm. Of course, it was also thanks to the yin-yang Dao wheel, the power of reincarnation, the ability of the Dao body, and various other physical abilities. Asterisk whoosh. Asterisk Su Fong leaped through the air and came to a material fragment with an area of 10 feet in the void. The astonishing tribulation immediately burned fiercely. His physical body was constantly broken, and the impurities of his afterbirth seeped out and burned to ashes in the tribulation fire. More than 10 days later, the tribulation fire gradually disappeared, and an aura surged out from Su Fong's body. His entire body was filled with the aura of realm immortal and Dao realm. It was another new realm, the world immortal Dao realm. Activating his perfect fleshly body ability, his senses immediately covered an area of nearly 200 miles. This was still within the void due to the influence of the shackles. If he were in the immortal world, this range would be even larger. The yin-yang Dao wheel formed by the 30 yang meridians became even more profound and emitted a mysterious divinity. The world fragment also became even more vast. It turned out that more than 20 years ago, Su Fong had successfully formed his 30th yang vein after devouring 15 fire vein essence lotuses. He was currently attempting to form his 31st yang vein and was not far from the birth of a new yang vein. If he had not fused with the 1,000 illusion star fire essence body, it would have been very easy to form a new yang vein. Although it was difficult to advance to the next level in the world immortal realm, the transformation it brought was also quite shocking. This advancement to the realm immortal and Dao realm caused his various physical abilities and primordial spirit to transform once again. His divine orifices had expanded by a lot. Kid, you've advanced again. Congratulations. The green feather emperor flew over and said embarrassedly. Su Fong smiled and said, "Why? You don't look too happy that I've advanced again. It's so difficult for me to advance, but you're like eating and drinking. Just looking at you makes me feel very frustrated." The green feather emperor was very depressed. Su Fong laughed loudly. Let's go to Storm Valley. Another 3 years later, amidst the void, the turbulence, and the nebula, a material plate appeared in sight. Different from the other material plates, this material plate was surrounded by lightning and fire. Occasionally, there would be a thunderous explosion that could be clearly heard thousands of miles away. This plane fragment was separated from the lightning world of illumination and drifted here with the power of nature. In terms of the material plate, it was difficult for cultivators to set foot in most areas. However, there was a huge canyon that did not have the violent lightning and firepower of nature that were everywhere in other places. This was Storm Valley. As this place was located between the Great Sheen immortal realm and the lightning world of illumination, many cultivators who went to the dangerous places outside the realm to search for treasures would temporarily rest in Storm Valley. Therefore, there were hundreds of thousands of immortals living in Storm Valley, and it became a sizable immortal city. Su Fong kept the green feather emperor in the true dragon realm to recover. He used his physical abilities to change his appearance and then flew towards the material plate. Around the material plate, There were turbulence formed by the lightning and firepower of nature. If one accidentally touched it, even a mystic immortal cultivator would be turned into ashes instantly. With Su Fang's current strength, although he would not lose his life, he would definitely be in a lot of trouble. When he entered the continent, Su Fang saw with his own eyes a winged demon immortal whose strength was close to that of a demon emperor's. It was engulfed by the turbulence of lightning and fire and disappeared into the void in an instant. When he entered Storm Valley, Su Fang paid a large amount of immortal essence pills. It turned out that Storm Valley was currently occupied by an immortal emperor expert who called himself the Valley Master. Anyone who entered Storm Valley had to pay immortal essence pills. A huge canyon that spanned hundreds of miles appeared in front of him. There were densely packed houses in the canyon, and there were caves on the cliff where immortals went in and out. Although this place could not be compared to the immortal cities in the great immortal realm, it was still considered a bustling place in the void outside the realm. When he arrived at the city, Su Fang let out the monk Shangde and some of his shrewd subordinates to gather information about the Lightning Sky realm. They paid special attention to a dangerous place in the Lightning Sky realm called the Lightning Waterfall Abyss. Bai Ling was still cultivating in seclusion and could break through to the Demon Emperor realm at any time. At this time, Su Fang's control over the True Dragon realm had increased by a lot. Thus, he did not need to continue letting experts protect her. If anything happened, Su Fang could rush over personally with just a thought. Thus, the monk finally regained his freedom. The map of the Heavenly Fire's Fury Thunderflame came from the imperial advisor of the Divine Wave Nation, who was actually a thought manifestation venerable of the heaven-returning Azure Spirit sect in the sky-bearing Great World. The place marked on the map was the Lightning Waterfall Abyss of the Lightning Sky realm. Su Fang originally thought that it would be easy to find out the news, but who knew that the great monk Shangde and the others would spend more than 10 days asking around. There were quite a number of immortals who had been to the Lightning Sky Thunderworld, and there were also trade associations who would make a trip to the Lightning Sky Thunderworld every once in a while to look for some shockingly valuable lightning and fire-type spiritual items of heaven and earth. However, no one knew about the Thunder Waterfall Abyss, and even the trade associations had never heard of it. This was a little troublesome. The map did indicate the location of the Lightning Waterfall Abyss on the Lightning Sky realm. However, the Lightning Sky realm was much more dangerous than the desolate Swamp Star Plain. If an ordinary immortal emperor fell into the unknown danger zones of the Lightning Sky realm, even if he did not die, he would lose a layer of skin. In the face of nature, the most violent lightning and fire elements in the world, even the strongest immortal would be extremely weak. Continue to gather information and find a guide. If there is no other way, we can only take the risk and go to the Lightning Sky realm. Su Fang ordered the monk and the others. On this day, Su Fang came to a merchant in the Storm Valley, preparing to gather a group of mercenaries through the merchant. Although he did not lack experts, there were not many who had been to the Lightning Sky realm, so he had to recruit some experts who were familiar with the Lightning Sky realm. Because Su Fang's price was twice as high as the others, and there was no lack of immortals who made a living by adventuring in the Storm Valley, the merchant had just spread the news when 400 to 500 experts came. Who knows about the Lightning Waterfall Abyss? Su Fang asked. Many immortals shook their heads, and Su Fang was disappointed again. Suddenly, "Sir, you want to go to the Lightning Waterfall Abyss?" A middle-aged man at the back raised his hand. This person only had one left arm and had a weathered face, revealing a sense of desolation. However, his back was straight, and his strength was not bad, having the aura of a Xian immortal. Su Fang's spirit was lifted. "You know about the Lightning Waterfall Abyss?" The immortals in front laughed and spoke. "Sir, don't believe him. This person offended Fairy Yin Chong. As long as you have anything to do with him, you will attract big trouble. This Ming duo must have gone crazy from poverty. Even we don't know about the Lightning Waterfall Abyss. How could he know? He is clearly trying to cheat money." Su Fang's brows furrowed, and he revealed the aura of an overlord. "All of you, shut up. Under the pressure of Su Fang's sovereign aura, all the immortals trembled, and the crowd was silent. You're called Meng Duo, right? Do you really know about the lightning waterfall abyss? Su Fang spoke to the desolated middle-aged man with his primordial spirit. The perfection stage ability swept through this person's body, and he could see that this person's cultivation was higher than this in the past, but he had been seriously injured, causing his cultivation to drop. The middle-aged man replied with his primordial spirit, "Not only have I been to the lightning waterfall abyss, I also know why Sir went there. It is for the lightning fury flame." Su Fang's eyes lit up. "How do you know?" The middle-aged man replied indifferently, "My right arm and the injuries all over my body were caused by the serious injuries I received when I was searching for the lightning fury flame in the lightning waterfall abyss. How could I not know about the lightning waterfall abyss?" "Bring me to the lightning waterfall abyss. What kind of conditions, Tao artifacts, or immortal essence pills? You can name them." Su Fang was pleasantly surprised. Who knew that the middle-aged man's conditions were out of Su Fang's expectations? "Since Sir dares to go to the lightning waterfall abyss, you must be extremely powerful. I will bring Sir to the lightning waterfall abyss, but I don't want Tao artifacts or pills. I only hope that Sir can help me save my daughter. I am afraid that Sir won't dare to do it." Su Fang frowned slightly. The middle-aged man looked at Su Fang, his eyes burning with hope. "My daughter was kidnapped by the daughter of the Storm Spirit Valley's master, Fairy Yin Shang, to be his servant. As long as Sir can save my daughter, I am willing to go through water and tread on fire for Sir. Even if I die in the lightning waterfall abyss, I will not hesitate. I will agree to your conditions." Su Fang agreed without hesitation. The middle-aged man hesitated. "Sir, aren't you afraid of the Storm Spirit Valley's master? He is a supreme expert of the immortal emperor level." Su Fang smiled indifferently. "No worries, just bring me to that Fairy Yin Shang directly." Storm Spirit Valley's master? Miss Yin Shang? With Su Fang's current strength, what was an immortal emperor level expert? The middle-aged man, Meng Duo, was still worried and reminded, "Sir, you can look down on the Storm Spirit Valley's master, but behind him is the Great Qin immortal world. I heard that he is related to young Master Qin." At this moment, Chapter 1322. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. More than a dozen cultivators covered in lightning and fire Tao patterns flew over and surrounded Su Fang and Meng Duo. "Meng Duo, Miss Yin Shang personally ordered you not to enter Storm Valley. How dare you come?" A burly cultivator's eyes flashed fiercely. Boom! The burly cultivator unleashed an aura that knocked Meng Duo to the ground. This person's cultivation had reached the 7 Tao feather immortal realm. He was definitely an expert in Storm Valley. Su Fang's eyes were cold as he nodded at Monk Shang, who was outside the crowd. The monk wasn't a kind person. He always hid at the back when facing experts, but when facing weaklings, he would strike out finger seals. In less than 3 breaths, more than a dozen Storm Valley cultivators were knocked to the ground. The Storm Valley cultivators fled in panic, and only dared to say after they were far away, "Hairless guy, just you wait. And Meng Duo, let's see how Fairy Yin Shang will deal with you." Hairless? Monk Shanda was so angry that his nose was crooked. This was the first time he was called that, and he was very depressed. After recruiting more than 100 strong cultivators, Su Fang planned to leave Storm Valley. Whoosh! A woman in a fiery red Taoist robe broke through the sky like a ball of fire, followed by more than 100 Storm Valley cultivators. Fairy Yin Shang. She was a heavenly beauty with a fierce aura. Her cultivation realm was not low, reaching the realm of Realm Immortal. Not to mention the Storm Valley. Even in some of the major forces, she could be considered an outstanding genius. At the very least, she would have the status of a special disciple. Meng Duo's expression changed instantly, but there was no fear in his eyes. Fairy Yin Shang shouted coldly, "Meng Duo, you dare to disobey my orders and come to Storm Valley. You even dare to injure my subordinates. Do you really think that I won't dare to kill you because you came from the Great Qin Immortal Emperor residence?" It turned out that Meng Duo and the Storm Soul Valley Master had both been guards of the Great Qin, Celestial Emperor's estate. Back then, Meng Duo had been quite powerful and had a very high status among the guards. Later, when Meng Duo was protecting a prince of the immortal Emperor Mansion, he entered the lightning waterfall abyss of the illuminating sky lightning world. While searching for the Thunder Fury Flame, he was severely injured and his strength greatly decreased. That prince also died in the lightning waterfall abyss. After returning, Meng Duo was chased out of the immortal Emperor Mansion. His property was plundered by the Storm Soul Valley Master. Even his only daughter was taken away and given to Yin Shang Fairy as a servant. Meng Duo forced himself to say, "Fairy Yin Shang, please release my daughter Meng Ying. I will immediately leave Storm Valley." Fairy Yin Chang sneered. "Why should I let her daughter go? Kneel down, or I'll immediately order your daughter to be executed." Meng Duo hesitated for a moment before finally gritting his teeth and kneeling on the ground, his face full of humiliation. Who knew that Yin Shang Fairy would then coldly spit out, "Destroy your own cultivation." Meng Duo said angrily, "Fairy Yin Shang, don't go too far." At this moment, a female cultivator flashed out from behind Yin Shang Fairy. Although she was not wearing a Thunderfire Taoist robe, her clothes were still bright and beautiful. She knelt down before Yin Shang Fairy and begged, "Young mistress, on account of my loyalty to you, please spare my father this time." It turned out that this female cultivator was Meng Duo's daughter. She looked very pretty and well-behaved. Yin Shang Fairy looked down at Meng Duo like a high and mighty empress. She said in a majestic voice, "Fine, on account of your daughter's dedication to serving me, I'll let you live. Slap yourself 200 times and then get out of Storm Valley." Meng Duo stood up and shouted, "Fairy Yin Shang Fairy, if you want to kill me, just kill me. Why do you have to humiliate me like this?" Yin Shang Fairy said coldly, "If you don't do it, not only will your life be in danger, but I'll also let your daughter serve the men under me. No less than 100 of them every day." Su Fong, who was watching coldly from the side, was about to make a move when Meng Ying shouted at her father, Meng Duo, "What are you doing in Storm Valley? Not only will you get yourself killed, but you'll also implicate me." Meng Duo was shocked and said, "I came to Storm Valley to save you." Meng Ying interrupted her father rudely. "Who asked you to save me? I'm by Yin Shang Fairy's side. Although I'm just a maid, I'm still her servant. This is an identity that others can't even dream of. You're so poor now. What's the benefit of following you?" Meng Duo was stunned, as if he had been struck by lightning. Su Fong was also shocked and surprised. He temporarily dismissed the idea of making a move. Luo slowly said from the blood jade in his body, "Su Fong, have you seen it?" Su Fong replied with a cold voice, "I've seen it. Without strength and power, you'll be bullied like a dog. Even your daughter won't recognize your father. This is the great immortal world, and this is what immortals are like." Meng Ying stomped her feet and shouted, "Why don't you do it yourself? Do you want me to be punished by the first miss? Then you'll be happy, won't you?" "I'll do it." Meng Duo smiled bitterly and slapped his own face. Slap, 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 slap. He was obviously disheartened. He didn't use his genuine qi to defend himself. After dozens of slaps, his face had become unrecognizable, and blood was flowing from his mouth and nose. Meng Ying was still human. Her eyes showed that she couldn't bear it. She begged in a low voice, "First miss, can you?" Yin Shang Fairy said coldly, "Hit him 200 times, not one less." "Humph! When you bullied my father in the immortal Emperor Mansion, did you think you'd end up like this?" Suddenly, a hand grabbed Meng Duo's hand and said, "That's enough. Don't go too far. Who are you? How dare you meddle in my business?" Yin Shang Fairy raised her eyebrows, and her eyes were cold. Su Fong said indifferently, "Who I am is not important, and I don't want to meddle in your business. It's just that I've hired Meng Duo at a high price, so he's my man now. I have to meddle in his business." Yin Shang Fairy sized up Su Fong and sneered, "Do you know who I am? My father is a peerless expert at the peak of the immortal Emperor realm, and also the supreme ruler of Storm Spirit Valley. He's also the supreme immortal emperor of the Great Qin immortal world. How dare you meddle in my business? Do you want to die? Su Fang's voice suddenly became cold. I don't want to die, but I still have to meddle in your business. How dare you be rude to Yin Shang Fairy? Kneel down. Two cultivators rushed out from behind Yin Shang Fairy and rushed towards Su Fang with strong, killing intent. Get lost. A flame aura exploded from Su Fang's body, setting off waves of fire. With two booming sounds, the two ninth Dao Realm Feather Immortal experts were sent flying. Blood spurted out from their mouths, and their skin and flesh were burned. They were severely injured. Just as Yin Shang Fairy spoke, Su Fang stepped on fire and appeared in front of her. An astonishing aura of a ruler shackled her, and she couldn't move. Grabbing Yin Shang Fairy's snow-white neck, Su Fang said domineeringly, "Don't you like to slap people? Then I'll let you have a taste of what it feels like to be slapped. Do you dare?" Yin Shang Fairy's eyes were filled with disdain. Slap! Slap! Why wouldn't Su Fang dare? He slapped Yin Shang Fairy more than 10 times in one breath, and her pretty face was swollen like a pig's head. It was impossible to see her original appearance. The cultivators of Storm Valley shouted angrily, but they were afraid that Su Fang would hurt Yin Shang Fairy, so they didn't dare to do anything. Many people were watching from the side. When they saw the scene, they were all dumbfounded. There was someone who dared to humiliate Miss Yin Shang in Storm Valley. Was he tired of living? Kill me if you have the guts. My father won't let you go. Not only you, but all the forces you belong to and your family won't be able to escape from my father's hands. Yin Shang Fairy revealed her ferocious nature, and her eyes were filled with viciousness. She stared at Su Fang like a venomous snake. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. 3 old men flew across the sky. They were all celestial lords who had reached the 6th Dao realm of the world immortal. Outsider, I advise you to let go of Miss Yin Shang immediately. Otherwise, you won't be able to walk out of Storm Valley. One of the old celestial lords shouted, and an aura burst out, forming a shocking shackle that shackled Su Fang and Yin Shang Fairy. Still not letting go? I will pull out your tendons and skin you alive, and then torture you for 1,000 years. Yin Shang Fairy's eyes were as cold as ice, filled with killing intent. Originally, I just wanted to slap you a few times, but you forced me to kill you. Su Fang said helplessly. Kacha. Yin Shang Fairy's neck was crushed by the force of his hands. Her eyes were filled with disbelief as she died unwillingly. You? How dare you kill Yin Shang Fairy? Not only the 3 celestial lords, but the others were also shocked. They couldn't believe that there was someone who had the guts to kill the daughter of the Storm Valley Lord. In their opinion, the Storm Valley Lord was the heavens here. This time, someone had defied the heavens. Why not? Su Fang said faintly. He let go of Yin Shang Fairy's body, and it fell to the ground. Capture him alive, or the Valley Lord won't let us go easily. One of the celestial lords roared. The 3 celestial lords attacked at the same time, pouncing towards Su Fang. They didn't use any divine ability. In their opinion, what could a puny 2nd Dao Realm cultivator do in the hands of celestial lords? Kill them and leave the Storm Valley. Su Fang's voice was filled with killing intent, as if he was pronouncing the death sentence of the 3 celestial lords. Boom, boom, boom. 3 powerful big goblin appeared in front of Su Fang at the same time. They were the 3 demon emperors, Zhu Huang, Shi Huang, Xian, family hegemony, Xiao, Xiang, Luo, Cheng Ran, Wum, askerisly. Province in terms of physical strength, the demon race was far stronger than human cultivators. Moreover, these 3 demon emperors weren't ordinary demon emperors. They didn't even need to transform into their demon forms to kill the 3 celestial lords. With a punch from each of them, the 3 celestial lords were sent flying like cannonballs. Their bodies were shattered, and they fell to the ground, heavily injured. How dare mere Storm Valley be so arrogant in front of the master? You're courting death. Zhu Huang laughed strangely. He stepped forward and took their lives without hesitation, and then kept their bodies into his body. Whoosh! The crowd was like a flock of frightened ducks. They scattered and fled in all directions. Even the immortals recruited by Su Fong ran for their lives. Let's go. Su Fong put the stunned Meng Duo and Meng Ying into the true long world and sent them to the alchemy training hall. Then, he flew out of the storm valley at a moderate pace. Su Fong also left the young immortal and came to the alchemy training hall. Greetings, Master. The Huangfu Elder and the other former leaders of the Huangfu clan stepped forward and bowed. The Huangfu clan and the alchemy experts of the Star Palace no longer had the arrogance they had when they first arrived in the true long world. Where's this place? There was actually an alchemy training hall? Who was this person? How did he have so many powerful subordinates? Meng Duo was once again stunned and fell into a state of intense shock. Meng Ying's mind was blank. She had never thought that her abject father, whom she had always looked down on, would be acquainted with such a big shot. Chapter 1323. Su Fong handed Meng Ying over to Elder Huangfu and asked her to start as a servant in the alchemy sect. She would definitely suffer a lot until she learned how to be filial to her father. If Meng Duo hadn't reminded Su Fong of his own father, Su Fong wouldn't have hesitated to kill a girl like Meng Ying. Why would it be so troublesome? Meng Duo was very grateful. In the end, she gritted her teeth and gave Su Fong a token. The token emitted an ancient chi. There were thunder immortal runes on it. No one knew what it was. Su Fong asked curiously, "What's this?" Meng Duo replied, 50,000 years ago, in order to find the Thunder Fury Flame, I followed a prince of the Qin clan into the Thunder Waterfall Abyss. I accidentally obtained this token. What's the use of it? According to the Great Qin Prince, this item is the key to entering a place called the Heavenly Slaughter Lightning Emperor's Treasure. Later on, when everyone except me was trying to catch the Thunder Fury Flame, the token fell into my hands. I was lucky enough to escape and return to the Great Qin Immortal World. Originally, I wanted to give this item to the Qin clan, but I was kicked out of the Qin clan. Now that I've given this token to young Master, it may be useful to young Master. Su Fong kept the token in his storage ring and didn't take it to heart. There were countless ancient treasures in the great immortal world. However, it was like looking for a needle in a haystack to find the treasures. It required luck and fortuitous encounters. It was obviously impossible to find the treasures with a token that was accidentally obtained. Storm Spirit Valley. Before Su Fong could leave, a thunderous roar filled with monstrous anger suddenly sounded. Who dares to kill my daughter in the Storm Spirit Valley? I'm going to burn your bones and scatter your ashes. As soon as he finished speaking, numerous figures appeared from all directions and surrounded Su Fong in the center. Asterisk whoosh. Asterisk one by one, the figures flew across the sky. It's them? Su Fong was surprised when he sensed two familiar chi with his perfect perfection realm ability. Among the experts, there was an old man clad in a Taoist robe of thunder and fire. His chi was vast, and his stature was tall and mighty. He was obviously a peak immortal emperor expert. He was the father of Fairy Yin Chong, the master of Storm Soul Valley. The other two figures were Su Fong's acquaintances. They were the Great Qin Young Master, one of the 10 Great Young Masters, and his subordinate, Qin Xianfeng. The Young Master of the Great Qin Celestial Realm was the most outstanding son of the Great Qin Celestial Realm's Lord. He was one of the 10 Great Young Masters, and his talent was on par with Long Xiaojuan's. Right now, he was surrounded by so many people, and he had the aura of an overlord. In the future, he would definitely become a peerless overlord. Looking at the 3 powerful big goblin beside Su Fong, Great Qin's eyes flashed with shock. Qin Xian roared, "You dare to kill someone in Storm Valley, and the person you killed is the Valley Master's daughter. Your Excellency is quite bold." Su Fong sneered, "Could it be that I can only stretch out my neck and let others kill me, and others can't resist? That's right. You deserve to be killed by my daughter in Storm Valley. You dare to kill my daughter, so you deserve to die?" The Master of Storm Soul Valley said with killing intent. Because he was afraid of the 3 big goblin behind Su Fong and was worried that he would take advantage of the situation to escape, the Master of Storm Soul Valley waited for his subordinates to arrive and didn't rush to make a move. Great Qin young master suddenly said arrogantly, "Your Excellency must have an extraordinary identity to have 3 demon emperors as your subordinates. Tell me your name." Great Qin young master has guessed wrongly. I'm just a nameless cultivator with no background. There's no need for me to say my name. Su Fong said indifferently. Great Qin young master sneered disdainfully. No matter who you are or where you come from, Storm Valley is the territory of my Great Qin immortal world. If you dare to kill someone in Storm Valley, only death awaits you. Hand over your 3 big goblin subordinates, and this young master can save your life. However, your Dao path and cultivation will be left behind. The master of Storm Soul Valley hurriedly said, "Young master, this person killed my beloved daughter. I must pull out his tendons, skin him, and refine his soul to vent the hatred in my heart." Great Qin young master nodded and said majestically to Su Fong, "If you can make your big goblin subordinates submit to this young master can guarantee that you won't die in pain." What a domineering Great Qin young master. As they spoke, Su Fong was surrounded by Storm Soul Valley's experts. There were around 30,000 to 40,000 people. Some were the subordinates of Great Qin young master and the master of Storm Soul Valley, while others were cultivators who lived in Storm Soul Valley. They wanted to hit Su Fong while he was down and curry favor with the master of Storm Soul Valley. Foreign cultivator, you can't escape even if you have wings. Why don't you surrender? The master of Storm Soul Valley pointed at Su Fong. All the lightning element natural energy in the air condensed in his finger. The terrifying and domineering lightning element divine might cause the surrounding void to tremble. Then, an astonishing chi exploded, turning into a swift and violent thunderbolt. The light of thunder and fire covered Su Fong, who was as weak as an ant. Asterisk swoosh. Asterisk facing a peak immortal emperor expert who was proficient in the most terrifying lightning element of nature, Su Fong didn't dare to be careless. He immediately released the immortal devil monster. The chi of the immortal and devil forces fused together exploded, spiraling and whistling around its body, forming a domain that covered all directions. The master of Storm Soul Valley didn't have time to unleash his chi before it shattered layer by layer. Not only that, within the range of the divine might of the immortal devil monster's domain, the true chi in everyone's body became chaotic and their strength was suppressed. In the past few decades, Su Fong had been helping the immortal devil monster recover with all kinds of spiritual items. Although the combat strength of the immortal devil monster wasn't even 1% of immortal venerable Tsang Huan or devil venerable ancient Ming, it was more than twice as strong as before. An immortal emperor expert, there's actually a supreme immortal emperor following by his side. Voices filled with horror and shock suddenly resounded in the Storm Soul Valley. In front of an immortal emperor expert, a peak immortal emperor was as weak as an ant. No one expected that. No one expected that. Originally, they thought that this young cultivator was a weakling. Even if he had 3 demon emperors under him, he was still a weakling in front of a peak immortal emperor like the master of Storm Soul Valley. Who knew? There was actually a peerless immortal emperor by his side. That was a terrifying expert who could dominate an immortal world. Immediately, everyone was shocked and in despair. The expression of young Master Qin, who was still strong and domineering just now, changed instantly. He exclaimed, "Stop! This is a misunderstanding. True body, kill or not kill." The immortal devil monster sent a cold voice to Su Fong's true body. Su Fong replied domineeringly, "The Great Qin immortal world and the heavenly Dao immortal world have formed an alliance. Sooner or later, they will be my enemy. Kill. Search young Master Qin's soul. I want to know some details about the Great Qin immortal world." It couldn't be any simpler. Yin Yang immortal devil scissors. The immortal devil monster separated its hands. Immortal light and devil light formed a Xian Guang scissors. The explosive power of Yin and Yang swept across the Storm Soul Valley Master's body. This person's cultivation had reached the peak of the 9th world immortal realm. He could be considered a peerless expert anywhere. However, The yin-yang immortal devil scissors of the immortal devil monster was something that even the tranquil emperor and the tyrant emperor couldn't resist, let alone him. Chi, the Storm Soul Valley Master's neck was cut off. His head and body were separated. The Vermilion Emperor opened his mouth and swallowed the corpse directly into his stomach. The body of a peak immortal emperor expert was a good thing. Not a single drop of blood essence could be wasted. Although young Master Qi's strength was extraordinary, he didn't even have a chance to resist in the immortal devil monster's domain. The immortal devil monster swept up a force of immortal devil and grabbed him. The second primordial spirit shot out from the glabella of the immortal devil monster and broke through the defense of young Master Qi's divine aperture. Then the primordial spirit crushed him. Next, it searched his consciousness and swallowed young Master Qi's primordial spirit. Suddenly, crack! A bolt of lightning exploded from the depths of young Master Qi's divine aperture ocean. The second primordial spirit was caught off guard. It was shaken by a terrifying primordial spirit divine might and retreated out of young Master Qi's divine aperture ocean. Which expert dares to kill this emperor's son? No matter who you are, even if you escape from this immortal realm, this emperor will capture you alive. Young Master Qi's eyes flashed with lightning. A majestic voice filled with the will of a ruler came out of his mouth. However, it wasn't his original voice. As soon as his voice fell, two bolts of lightning shot out from young Master Qi's eyes. One bolt entered the immortal devil monster's body, while the other drilled into Su Fang's body and disappeared. This is the great Qin immortal emperor. Su Fang was shocked. He hurriedly searched for the lightning in his body. However, he found nothing. He couldn't help but be surprised. Strange. What kind of divine ability was that? I couldn't sense it. At this moment, Law loudly reminded him in the blood jade in his body. This is a famous lightning type tracking divine ability. It's called Mo Lei's True Sense. Although it can't cause you any harm, the great Qin immortal emperor can sense your existence through this divine ability. Even if you hide in the Tao artifact space, you can't escape from his primordial spirit. Even a true dragon realm can't guarantee that. This place isn't far from the great Qin immortal realm. The great Qin immortal emperor will be here soon. Hurry up and leave. Su Fang's back was drenched in cold sweat. Since he was passing by the great Qin immortal realm, Su Fang naturally wanted to find out more about the great Qin immortal emperor. The great Qin immortal emperor had been an immortal emperor for nearly 1,000,000 years. He was slightly later than the Tranquility Emperor. However, this person cultivated the lightning-type divine might, and his strength wasn't inferior to the Tranquility Emperor's. It was just that the Qin family's foundation and overall strength were far inferior to the Tranquility Emperor's residence. It wasn't easy to be targeted by such a peerless, immortal emperor. Hurry up and leave. Taking advantage of the fact that the surrounding space was shackled by the divine might of the immortal fiend monster's domain and no one could resist, Su Fang released the divine might of the true dragon realm's Dharma treasure. The immortal fiend monster, the 3 demon sovereigns, and the tens of thousands of cultivators around were all sucked into the true dragon realm. Whoosh! He left the storm valley at the fastest speed and came to the void outside. He didn't care about the dangerous consequences and released the Green Feather Emperor, who hadn't recovered from his injuries, into the body of the Green Feather Emperor in his demon form. Whoosh! The Green Feather Emperor used his innate ability. His wings stirred up a spatial airflow, forming a vortex. Then, his huge body entered the vortex and shuttled through the void. Half an hour later, crack! At the place where the Green Feather Emperor disappeared, there was a sudden clap of thunder, and a bolt of lightning broke through the void. The lightning crackled and flickered, revealing a tall and majestic figure. At this moment, he had a square face, sword-like eyebrows, and eyes flashing with lightning. He was wearing a blue Taoist robe with lightning-type Tao patterns on it. There was a vast and terrifying lightning-type aura around him, as if a god of thunder had descended. The Great Qin Immortal Emperor. The Great Qin Immortal Emperor struck out a hand seal, which turned into a bolt of lightning that swept through the surrounding space. Then, the great Qin immortal emperor withdrew his hand. Following that, a light image bloomed in his hand. It was the scene of Su Fong escaping into the green feather emperor's body. There's actually a big goblin with the innate ability of space. No wonder he escaped so quickly. However, it's too laughable to think that he can escape from this immortal emperor. You killed this immortal emperor's son. Even if you escape to the ends of the world, this immortal emperor will take your head. As soon as the voice that was filled with killing intent came out, the great Qin immortal emperor's body flashed with lightning, bringing with it an aura that shook the heavens. Ripples appeared in the void like water surface, and eventually a vortex was formed. Chapter 1324. Rumble. The green feather emperor's gigantic body appeared in a space outside the realm. The thunder and fire elemental forces of nature wreak havoc. The heavenly thunder and fire elemental forces of nature intertwined within the space. Even the green feather emperor's spatial powers were rendered useless here. His huge demonic body was instantly bombarded and incinerated. His feathers fell off as his demonic body was shattered layer by layer. He was severely injured. Su Fong came out of the green feather emperor's body and quickly put him into the true dragon realm. Hurry up and recover. The green feather emperor was severely injured this time. Su Fong put him into the true dragon realm's cultivation Dao Hall and took out a young immortal. He immediately took out the Storm Soul Valley Master's corpse and supreme-grade pills to help him recover. The great Qin Celestial Emperor is chasing after you. Without my speed and spatial powers, how can you escape? The green feather emperor ignored his injuries and was worried for Su Fong. So what if he's an immortal emperor? I'll just use the Xianming lightning seal to kill him. Su Fong showed his decisive and ruthless side. He then released the immortal demon monster into his body. Buzz, after doing all this, the Heaven's secret life shrinking technique and great perfection ability immediately sensed it. A tall and majestic figure was like a battleship advancing in a stormy sea. He braved the terrifying power of lightning and fire and actually suppressed and even shattered the destructive power around him. This is the great Qin Celestial Emperor? What fast speed and terrifying strength. Su Fong was shocked. Let's see where you can run to. The great Qin Celestial Emperor's majestic voice sounded. In the next instant, a terrifying lightning-type divine might exploded out, covering the surroundings, causing the berserk nature energy in the surroundings to quickly gather around the great Qin Celestial Emperor. Lightning filled the sky and flames burned. The great Qin Celestial Emperor was like a god of lightning. He was mighty and domineering. Boom, boom. The immortal demon monster also unleashed its immortal demon fusion power, which turned into a domain of power. It collided with the lightning elemental power of the great Qin Celestial Emperor, causing the surroundings to explode and thunder to rumble. At the same time, it also unleashed its primordial spirit power, which turned into billowing primordial spirit waves that swept towards the great Qin Celestial Emperor. Puff! The immortal demon monster spat out blood as its body was swept into the area where the lightning and fire elemental power was even more terrifying. Heavenly secret life shrinking technique. Activating the Xianming lightning seal required a life force that even Su Fong couldn't bear. Moreover, it required sufficient time to prepare, so it was too late to activate it at all costs. Without any hesitation, he unleashed the heavenly secret life shrinking technique to its limits, completely concealing his own fate and aura. At the same time, the aura of fate also enveloped the immortal fiend monster. The immortal devil monster's aura suddenly disappeared. This way, it would be difficult for the great Qin immortal emperor to sense the existence of Su Fong and the immortal and devil monsters. Out of this dangerous area of thunder and fire, whoosh! The great Qin immortal emperor flew out from the area of lightning and fire. The immortal patterns on his robe had dimmed. Although his physical body was not injured, his Yuan spirit was heavily injured. His face was pale, and his eyes were filled with shock and disbelief. What a powerful physical body and terrifying primordial spirit. If I didn't cultivate the thunder god technique, and my primordial spirit was stronger than even Tranquility Emperor, my primordial spirit would have been severely injured. The great Qin, immortal emperor, said with lingering fear. Where exactly did this expert come from? His Yuan spirit is stronger than an immortal emperor, and his physical body is strong. However, his strength is only at the level of an ordinary immortal emperor. Strange. The great Qin, immortal emperor, released his sensing power. Lightning surged in his eyes, and they were extremely deep, as if he could see through the endless void. He actually escaped to the lightning sky realm. This is troublesome. I have to deal with that old monster again. No matter who you are, no matter how strong you are, you kill my son. In this lightning sky realm, you won't be able to escape from me. The great Qin, immortal emperor, entered the void again and disappeared in the storm of thunder and fire. Who? The immortal and devil monster used the peerless divine ability of an immortal emperor to travel through the dangerous areas. The space around the lightning world was filled with the chaotic space formed by the natural forces of lightning and fire. If it wasn't for the fact that the monster's body was formed by the fusion of the immortal sovereign and devil sovereign of immortal Emperor Yu, it would have been annihilated into nothingness by the two forces of nature. Although this was the case, the immortal and devil monster's physical body was still damaged. Its body was full of wounds and burns caused by the lightning and fire. A huge object floating in the storm of thunder and fire appeared in front of it. This object was surrounded by lightning and fire, and it was shaped like a lit candle. It was incomparably huge and dreamlike. Lightning Sky Realm. The immortal and devil monster traveled through the storm of thunder and fire and soon arrived at the lightning sky realm. 1. Su Fong couldn't use the Heaven's secret life shrinking technique for a long time. Just as he stopped, a disturbance appeared in the depths of his mind. Some mysterious Tao runes of destiny appeared around his divine aperture or in the sea of magic power within it. I still haven't escaped from the great Qin, immortal emperor, Luo. The one who killed young Master Qin was the immortal and devil monster. Why is Mo lays true will planted in my body? Luo replied in the blood jade. The immortal and devil monster's body has been taken over by the second primordial spirit. You and the second primordial spirit are one and can't be separated. Naturally, you can't escape from Mo Lay's true will. You should quickly use your destiny divine ability to remove Mo Lay's true will. Otherwise, you won't be able to escape from the great Qin, immortal emperor. Although Mo Lay's true will is powerful, can it be more powerful than your Heaven's secret life shrinking technique? However, if you want to break the peerless divine ability of an immortal emperor, it will definitely consume a lot of your life force. Using the Heaven's secret life shrinking technique would cause severe side effects for Su Fong. It would consume a lot of his life force. This time, using it continuously to conceal his aura had already caused Su Fong's hair to turn white. When I left Storm Valley, I tried to use the Heaven's secret life shrinking technique to remove Mo Lay's true will. It's very troublesome, what? Even a peerless divine ability like the Heaven's secret life shrinking technique can't erase Mo Lay's true will. More than half of Mo Lay's true will has been erased from my body, but the immortal and devil monster, to use destiny divine power to erase Mo Lay's true will in his body is equivalent to changing someone else's fate. The loss of life force is too great. It's at the limit of what I can bear. So that's how it is. Although you and the second primordial spirit are one, the immortal and devil monster's body isn't your body. Therefore, using the Heaven's secret life shrinking technique on him is equivalent to changing someone else's fate. Moreover, the immortal and devil monster's body is formed by the fusion of Tsanghuan immortal exalt and ancient immortal demon exalt Ming's bodies. You definitely can't bear the loss of life force. This is troublesome. It's up to you to resolve this crisis. I won't give you any advice. I know, it's not the final moment yet. I can deal with it myself. The Shinming Lightning Archive is my final life-saving trump card. I can't use it unless it's a matter of life and death. Moreover, it's not suitable for me to use the Xianming lightning archive in my current state. I'll use the Heaven's secret life shrinking technique. If I can't do it once, I'll use it twice or thrice. I'll first shake off the Great Qin, Celestial Emperor, and then try to recover my life force. While in my peak state, I'll use the Xianming lightning archive and the divine power of the second primordial spirit to kill him. This was the first time he had clashed with an immortal emperor's true body, and he was at an absolute disadvantage. However, Su Fong wasn't afraid at all. Instead, he revealed a strong and unyielding battle intent. Heaven's secret life shrinking technique. The Tao runes of destiny burned in his divine aperture ocean. The ethereal flames of destiny burned and quickly covered his entire body. Sizzle. The burning Tao runes came into contact with a strange lightning-type divine ability. It was the true will divine ability that the Great Qin, Celestial Emperor, had left in Su Fong's body. As soon as the divine power of true will came into contact with the Tao runes, it was incinerated. In the end, it was completely incinerated by the terrifying power of the Tao runes. Su Fong's long, black hair and grayish-white hair quickly spread until his head was covered with a layer of grayish-white. His face quickly aged, and he became a middle-aged man in his 40s. The Tao runes continued to burn. After incinerating a small portion of the true will in the immortal demon monster controlled by the second primordial spirit, Su Fong's hair had turned white, and his face had become that of an old man in his 60s. At the same time, the Great Qin Celestial Emperor appeared in the storm of lightning and fire outside the Candle Sky Thunder Realm. Just as he was about to enter the Candle Sky Thunder Realm, the Great Qin Celestial Emperor's body suddenly trembled, and he said in surprise, "A portion of my true will has been erased. It has become difficult to sense." Impossible. This is impossible. Even the Tranquility Emperor would need at least 10,000 years to refine my true will. Could this person be stronger than the Tranquility Emperor? Such an expert suddenly appeared in the Candle Sky Thunder Realm. Could it be that he's also here for the heavenly slaughter Thunder Emperor's treasure? Shocked and surprised, the Great Qin Celestial Emperor's expression became serious. After a moment of silence, the Great Qin Celestial Emperor looked at the Candle Sky Thunder Realm and frowned. Let's put aside the matter of the heavenly slaughter Thunder Emperor's treasure for now. Let's work together with old monster Zhu Tian and kill this unknown Celestial Emperor expert. Candle Sky Thunder Realm. If this continues, it will be very difficult for me to recover my life force. The Great Qin Celestial Emperor had let the demonic immortal monster advance in the depths of the Candle Sky Thunder Realm and burn a portion of true will. Now, it was difficult for the Great Qin Celestial Emperor to sense the exact location of the demonic immortal monster, and the danger was reduced by half. Su Fong's original body entered the true dragon realm. He had to quickly recover his life force and get rid of the problem of true will. After entering the cultivation Tao field, his physical body shattered and turned into a blood pool that was close to 3,000 feet long. As his cultivation increased, and with the devouring demonic hand and the essence of the Tranquility Emperor's clone, the yellow spring blood sea transformed again and again, and the blood pool was much larger than before. However, he had lost too much life force this time. The flame of life in the blood pool had dimmed, and it was even difficult to turn into a blood whirlpool. The price I paid this time was too high, and I didn't get any benefits. Great Qin Celestial Emperor, I will make you pay 10 times the price for this loss. After paying such a high price and not getting any benefits, Su Fong was very depressed. In the past, he had suffered worse than this, but which time did he not get a great harvest? Send them over. With a thought, the Vermilion Emperor and several powerful big goblin brought the shackled cultivators to the top of the formation. These cultivators were the ones that Su Fong had suppressed in Huiyin Shinrikyo. There were more than 30 of them who had not surrendered yet. There were also cultivators from the Storm Valley. There were more than 30,000 of them, and the Vermilion Emperor brought over 100 of them. Su Fong, you want the Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators to submit to you? Don't even think about it. You killed the great Qin celestial emperor, so you will die sooner or later. You want us to submit to you? The Huiyin Shinrikyo and the Storm Valley cultivators cursed angrily, and they were still very arrogant. You really don't know what's good for you. Does Master need you to submit? You are only fit to be Master's nutrients. The Vermilion Emperor clapped his hands, and more than 10 living Huiyin Shinrikyo cultivators fell into the blood pool below like dumplings. Sizzle. The cultivators only had time to scream before their skin was quickly corroded and turned into blood pool, which was merged with the yellow spring blood sea. Chapter 1325. Facing the storm of lightning and fire, the divine demon monster flew through the air above the Candle Sky Lightning Realm. The Candle Sky Lightning Realm was not a dangerous place, but a place where cultivators would lose their lives. The cultivators who entered the Candle Sky Lightning Realm only dared to search for spirit items in the outer regions and did not dare to enter the central region. The surroundings were filled with lightning and fire. Occasionally, there would be a flash of thunder or a ball of fire. Sometimes, lightning and fire would join together for hundreds of kilometers, creating a region of death. The terrifying destructive power would explode out and slam into the divine demon monster's body, causing the divine demon monster's domain to tremble. In the lightning world of the Candle Sky, even flying in the air was extremely difficult, and no one dared to casually break through the air. Everywhere was a region of destruction where lightning and fire wreaked havoc. Even immortal emperors had the possibility of dying. Through the divine demon monster's eye power, Su Fong could see lightning and fire, as well as the storm of lightning and fire. It was incredibly beautiful, but it was also incredibly dangerous. The fiery red ground had mountains, rivers, and all sorts of tall trees. The space was filled with chaotic lightning and fire nature energy, and monsters would occasionally appear. The divine demon monster used its domain to continuously defend against the nature energy. Adding on its powerful body, it was not much of a threat. However, it was not that there were no threats. The greatest threat was, of course, the great Qin Celestial Emperor. Every few days, under the guidance of Mo Lei's true sense, he would chase after it. Fortunately, Su Fong had already erased all of Mo Lei's true sense, and the divine demon monster's true sense had also been burned. Adding on the fact that the Candle Sky Lightning Realm's berserk nature energy affected one's senses, it was very difficult for the great Qin Celestial Emperor to sense the divine demon monster's exact location. Su Fong would occasionally use the Heaven's secret life shrinking technique to conceal his aura. Even though it would be difficult for him to shake off the great Qin Celestial Emperor, it would also be difficult for him to catch Su Fong. Following the map and with Meng Duo's guidance, the divine demon monster headed towards the lightning waterfall abyss and gradually entered the depths of the Candle Sky Lightning Realm. Great Qin Immortal Emperor, wait for me to recover my life force and burn away all of Mo Lei's true will on the immortal and demonic immortal monsters. Su Fong had the Xianming Lightning Scroll, as well as the immortal fiend monster and the gluttonous fiend demon, both of whom were as powerful as immortal emperors. He had at least a 50% chance of killing or severely injuring the great Qin Immortal Emperor. Su Fong even regretted not taking out the Xianming Lightning Decree to deal with the great Qin Celestial Emperor when he had killed the great Qin Celestial Emperor in Storm Valley. Using the Thunder of Destiny to activate the Xianming Lightning Scroll once would not only exhaust all of his true qi, but it would also exhaust his life force to the extreme. Although Su Fong had a way to recover his life force, he didn't dare to recklessly try it, so he was a little hesitant. As a result, he was hunted down by the great Qin Immortal Emperor. It was mainly because he had underestimated the power of Mo Lei's true intent and Great Qin's Celestial Emperor's determination. Killing Great Qin's Celestial Emperor had touched Great Qin's reverse scale. Great Qin Celestial Emperor, you chased after me step by step. Do you really think that I, Su Fong, don't have the means to kill you? This time, I'll use you to test the peerless power of the Xianming Lightning Decree. Killing an immortal emperor isn't an insult to a supreme Tao artifact, like the Xianming lightning decree. The body of an immortal emperor, as well as the various treasures and resources on him, could be considered as making up for my losses this time. True Dragon Realm. Within the cultivation Dao Plaza's formation, Su Fong had devoured more than 30 mysterious immortal realm cultivators and finally recovered some of his life force. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The bloody water slowly spun, forming a bloody vortex, and the devouring power instantly multiplied. The bloody water at the bottom of the vortex surged and quickly condensed into a bloody figure of Su Fong. Using the Black Lotus true body and pure yang energy, the Black Lotus blood threads possessed a pure yang immortal flame, and countless Black Lotus blood threads seemed to be burning. This was the great benefit of fusing with the Fire Vein Essence Lotus, which increased Su Fong's recovery ability once again. Su Fong floated in the bloody vortex around him like a head, looking like an extremely terrifying monster. The cultivators of Huyen, Shinrikyo, and Storm Valley who were controlled by the Big Goblin, such as the Vermilion Emperor, were already scared out of their wits. Some with weak Dao hearts were so scared that their wills collapsed and they fainted. Surrender, don't devour me. I'm willing to surrender. No one knew who was the first to beg for mercy, but the others followed suit. You're only thinking of surrendering now. It's too late. Su Fong's voice was filled with domineering and fierce killing intent. The wrath of an immortal emperor caused millions of corpses to fall and blood to flow for thousands of miles. How could Su Fong be the immortal emperor of the mortal world at this moment? Bloody ribbons emerged from the bloody vortex like densely packed tentacles of a monster, entangling the remaining cultivators and pulling them directly into the bloody water. As these cultivators' bodies and cultivations were devoured by Su Fong, the flame of life in the Yellow Spring Blood Sea once again boiled and burned. Not enough. Dark Green Demonic Emperor, come. With a thought, a bloody figure appeared above the Yellow Spring Blood Sea. It was the blood of the Dark Green Demonic Emperor who was shackled. Although this demon claimed to be surrendering to Su Fong in the Demon Sealing Tower in the Jinlong realm, he was actually extremely cunning. Su Fong could not shackle his vital spirit, so now was the perfect time to use this demon's bloody body to recover his vitality. The Yellow Spring Blood Sea. Su Fong, I've already surrendered to you. What else do you want? The Dark Green Demonic Emperor had once suffered a great loss in the Yellow Spring Blood Sea. So when he saw the huge bloody vortex that Su Fong had transformed into, he was instantly scared out of his wits. If you were truly surrendering to me, why would I shackle you in the cauldron of void dust for so many years? Have you ever offered to work for me? Su Fong was too lazy to waste his energy on this demon. He rolled up a gust of bloody water and pulled the demon into the bloody vortex. The bloody body of the Dark Green Demonic Emperor was shackled by layers of seals created by Su Fong with the Demon Sealing Emperor's heavenly seal. In addition to the severe injuries he had suffered in the Demon Sealing Tower, his strength had dropped tremendously. He was completely powerless to struggle. *ZZZ. At first, the Dark Green Demonic Emperor still tried to resist. Suddenly, traces of lightning emerged from the Yellow Spring Blood Sea. It was formed by Su Fong's Thunder Punishment Force. The lightning wrapped around his bloody body. After a series of crackling sounds, the demon stopped struggling immediately. The life essence of a blood demon at the peak of the immortal Emperor realm was comparable to that of 10 immortal Dao cultivators at the same level. The bloody body of the Dark Green Demonic Emperor was corroded and melted layer by layer. It melted into the surrounding bloody water and turned into a blazing flame of life. At the same time, a large amount of devil chi filled the air. If it was in the past, Su Fong would never dare to devour a peak devil emperor like this. He would have to refine the devil chi in advance. Now that he had the immortal fire of 9 suns and the Thunder Punishment Force, he had nothing to worry about. His true body devoured a part of it to cultivate his blood transformation true body. The rest of the devil chi and a large amount of life force were continuously sent out of the true dragon realm to be absorbed by the immortal demon monster's body to heal its injuries. More than 3 months passed in the blink of an eye. Su Fong, who stood in the middle of the bloody water whirlpool, suddenly opened his mouth and inhaled. The surrounding bloody water whirlpool was sucked into his mouth one by one. The bloody water condensed into a body. Asterisk after leaving the true dragon realm, he flew out of the immortal demon monster's body. It turned out that Su Fong had completely recovered his life force after devouring more than half of the dark green demonic emperor's bloody body. He was ready to use the life-shrinking art again to burn Mo Lei's true consciousness on the immortal demon monster. Activating the heavenly secret life-shrinking technique, countless mysterious auras of Taoist scriptures filled the divine aperture. The faintly discernible fate divine aura covered the immortal demon monster. Asterisk chi chi chi. Asterisk the divine might of Mo Lei's true consciousness was burned into nothingness by the life-shrinking art's Tao runes. At this moment, buzzed mysterious Tao runes flashed in Su Fong's mind again. They quickly condensed into a tall and majestic figure. The Great Qin Immortal Emperor. The Great Qin Immortal Emperor wasn't the only one sensing Su Fong. Under the influence of an invisible condensing force, the surrounding thunderstorm churned and quickly condensed into a 30-meter tall human face. One could vaguely make out the features of an old man. This human face clearly contained the will of the sky candle thunder barrier. It seemed that the expert who used this divine ability could gather the power of the sky candle thunder barrier at will. Another immortal emperor expert. Su Fong was surprised and shocked. Another immortal emperor expert had appeared. Moreover, it was an immortal emperor who could control part of the sky candle thunder barrier's power. Obviously, he had cultivated here for a long time and could control the violent natural power of the sky candle thunder barrier at will. I'm confident that I can kill or severely injure the Great Qin Immortal Emperor if I use the Xianming Lightning Scroll. Now, another Immortal Emperor expert has appeared and is about to arrive. What should I do? After thinking for a while, Su Fong used the Heaven's secret life shrinking technique and burned the Tao runes, incinerating the true intent within the demonic immortal monster's body. Su Fong paid a heavy price once again, and it was even greater than last time. His scalp turned snow white, and his face became that of an old man's. To be able to break through the Great Qin Immortal Emperor's true intent, you're not simple. However, with this Immortal Emperor here, let's see what you can do. In order to catch you, the Great Qin Immortal Emperor has put in a lot of effort. You should feel honored, the old man's face said with a hint of disdain and mockery. Die. The demonic immortal monster's second primordial spirit's cold voice came from its mouth. It spread its hands and slashed out the yin-yang immortal demon scissors, instantly shredding the human face formed by the thunderstorm into pieces. Buzz! Su Fongda sensed that the Great Qin Immortal Emperor and a red-robed old man were breaking through the natural power around them. They were charging over at lightning speed from over 50 kilometers away. I can't escape anymore. I'll hide in the true dragon realm first. Whoosh! Su Fong first put the demonic immortal monster into the true dragon realm before entering it himself. The lotus-like true dragon realm quickly shrank into a speck of dust and floated in the storm of thunderstorm. Whoosh! Whoosh! Just as Su Fong hid, the Great Qin Immortal Emperor and the red-robed old man appeared. It disappeared? Not only its aura, but even this immortal emperor's true intent has completely disappeared. The Great Qin Immortal Emperor's dignified face was filled with shock. Great Qin Immortal Emperor, your true intent isn't as powerful as the legends say. Look at this immortal emperor. You're hiding like a rat. Let's see where you can hide. Hurry up and come out. With a cold shout, the red-robed old man formed a hand seal and sent out a xianguang, which quickly covered the surrounding natural power. There was a series of explosions and flames, and the surrounding 50 kilometers fell into a berserk wave of energy. When everything calmed down, there was still nothing out of the ordinary, and there was no trace of Su Fong. The Great Qin, immortal emperor, laughed mockingly. Old monster Zhu Tian, your divine ability isn't that great either. The red-robed old man's old face turned red, and his eyes suddenly shone with a shocking divine light. After forming a hand seal, he sent out a three-legged medicinal cauldron from his palm. The medicinal cauldron was more than 3 meters tall and was crimson red. Its aura was vast and terrifying, and it gave people the feeling that it could even refine the heavens and earth once activated. Old monster Zhu Tian activated the medicinal cauldron, and a shocking divine might covered the surrounding 50 kilometers. Chapter 13:26. Old monster Zhu Tian, you actually have a royal gray Dao artifact. The Great Qin, celestial emperor's eyes lit up. Obviously, he was shocked by old monster Zhu Tian's peerless Dao artifact, and his heart was filled with greed. This cauldron was actually a royal gray Dao artifact. The Su Fong and the True Dragon Realm were sucked into the cauldron. Not long ago, I was lucky enough to obtain the Blue Flames Golden Sun Cauldron in a forbidden area of the Lightning Realm. It was just luck. Old monster Zhu Tian's face was flushed with pride. Blue Flames Golden Sun Cauldron? Could it be that the rumors are true? That you have been guarding the Lightning Realm for more than 200,000 years for the legendary Blue Flames Alchemist Emperor's inheritance? The Great Qin Celestial Emperor asked. Old monster Zhu Tian said unhappily, Great Qin Celestial Emperor, why are you asking so much? The Great Qin Celestial Emperor smiled embarrassedly and said, Legend has it that Blue Flames Alchemist Emperor was the #1 alchemist millions of years ago. He came to the Lightning Realm specifically to refine the Lightning Ginseng Blood Infant. It is said that the Lightning Ginseng Blood Infant can allow even celestial venerables to recover quickly after consuming this peerless pill. Could it be that the Lightning Ginseng Blood Infant is also in your hands? Old monster Zhu Tian raised his white eyebrows and said coldly, Great Qin Celestial Emperor, you are asking so many questions. Could it be that you want to kill me and steal my treasures? I have been cultivating in the Lightning Realm for more than 200,000 years. Even if the Tranquility Emperor himself came here, I would not be afraid. Great Qin Celestial Emperor, if you have such thoughts, go ahead and try. I have known you for so many years. Why would I covet your treasures? The Great Qin Celestial Emperor said righteously. Then he said, Why did you activate the Blue Flames Golden Sun Cauldron just now? This person must be hiding in a peerless Dao artifact. That's why we can't sense him. I will take everything in this space into the cauldron and refine it. Let's see where he can run to then. When I force him out, I will hand him over to you. Zhu Tian's eyes flashed with excitement. A treasure that even 2 peerless celestial emperors couldn't sense was definitely a peerless treasure. Now that it was inside the Blue Flame Golden Sun Cauldron, it would be refined and its original form would be revealed sooner or later. How could old monster Zhu Tian not be excited about obtaining a peerless treasure for no reason? It was like a pie falling from the sky. Congratulations, you've obtained a peerless treasure. The conditions that this emperor promised you, I'll bring them to you the next time I come to the Lightning World. Even though the Great Qin Celestial Emperor was unwilling to accept this, he did not show it on his face. His heart was filled with even more killing intent. Wait until this emperor is done. Then I'll invite a few more immortal emperors. The next time I come to the Lightning World, it will be the day you die. The Blue Flame Golden Sun Cauldron, Lightning Ginseng, Blood Infant, and the treasures of that foreign cultivator will all belong to this emperor. Su Fong had not expected that he would be suppressed in a Dao treasure space. Furthermore, the grade of this Dao treasure was on the same level as the Big Dipper Creation Cauldron. I'm in big trouble now. Su Fong was very anxious. He had always been the one to use Dao artifacts to suppress his enemies. This was the first time he was suppressed by a Dao artifact. The legendary King Grey Dao artifact was shackled in the Dao artifact space. It was not easy to escape. He had a King Grey Dao artifact in his hand, so he naturally knew how powerful a King Grey Dao artifact was. Even celestial emperors could not escape the fate of being suppressed in a Tao artifact. Zhu Tian activated his full circle ability and sensed the outside world through the true dragon world. Indeed, the true dragon realm, along with some material fragments and dust, was shackled in a formation in a Taoist treasure space. It constantly spewed out flames and released an astonishing refining power, constantly refining everything. Chi, chi, chi. Some of the material fragments were quickly refined into green smoke and drifted in the formation. The dust particles of the true dragon world drifted with the smoke. Even celestial emperors could not sense anything strange. Although it could hold on for a short time, the true dragon world might be refined one day and return to its original form. After all, the true dragon world was a severely damaged Tao artifact. Even if it could escape the shackles of the Tao artifact, there was still an extremely powerful celestial emperor waiting outside. Second primordial spirit, come. Whoosh! The immortal demon monster controlled by the second primordial spirit passed through the formation and appeared in front of Su Fang. Then, a black Xian Guang shot out of its eyes and entered Su Fang's divine aperture ocean. After the second primordial spirit fused with the main body, Su Fang obtained information from young Master Qin's consciousness through the soul search. It turned out that young Master Qin had come to Storm Valley to prepare for the Qin family's entry into the Lightning Sky realm. There was some information about old monster Zhu Tian in young Master Qin's memories. Old monster Zhu Tian was not the red-robed elder's real name, and no one knew his origins. He had entered the Lightning Sky realm over 200,000 years ago and had been cultivating in seclusion until now. That was why he was called Old Monster Zhu Tian. He was so powerful that even the great Qin celestial emperor was wary of him. Moreover, he had cultivated in the Lightning Sky realm for 200,000 years and had the ability to control the power of nature. In the Lightning Sky realm, he was even more terrifying than the great Qin celestial emperor, being suppressed by such a peerless celestial emperor in a royal gray Tao artifact. One could imagine the danger Su Fang was in. What should I do? What should I do? Whoosh! Su Fang regulated his breathing and calmed his heart. So what if it's a royal gray Tao artifact? Could it be more powerful than a divine artifact? I have a peerless Tao artifact like the Xianming Lightning Archive and a peerless divine artifact like the Origins Sacred Mirror. I have a perfect physical body and various other abilities. In addition, the immortal demon monster and the gorilla demon are both as strong as celestial emperors. It's not like I don't have the strength to fight old monster Zhu Tian. I'll be fine in the true dragon world for at least 100 years. The most important thing now is to recover my life force and then find a way to escape. Su Fang. At this moment, Fairy Xuanqin walked out of the formation. Seeing Su Fang's white hair and old face, she could not help but be shocked. Her eyes were filled with incomparable heartache. This was the first time she had seen Su Fang suffer such heavy losses. Moreover, he had lost the most precious life force of a cultivator. Just as she was about to send her life force into Su Fang's body, Su Fang stopped her. I have a way to recover my life force. You don't have to worry. I'll be with you. If you live, I'll be with you. If you die, I'll be with you. Xuanqin said indifferently. She flew to the side of the formation and sat down cross-legged, looking at Su Fang quietly. The Green Feather Emperor, the Vermilion Emperor, and the other big goblin appeared. Xianyin Tian also came and sat cross-legged in the formation. Clearly, he was worried about Su Fang. The ghoul also appeared on the side of the formation. Su Fang felt a surge of warmth in his heart. At the same time, he also felt a heavy responsibility. If he could not get out this time, not only himself, but all his family, friends, and subordinates in the True Dragon world would be suppressed. This was the drawback of the True Dragon world. Although he could carry an immortal world with him, all the safety was in Su Fang's hands. If something happened to Su Fang, no one would be able to escape. I have mastered the heavenly secret life shrinking technique. My fate is in my own hands. And I also have the purple Chi Dharma spirit. I have supreme luck. This crisis will definitely be resolved. After a long time. Suddenly, He formed a seal, and his body collapsed. Because he had used too much energy, he used to be able to turn into a pool of blood in an instant. This time, it took more than 10 breaths. It was the first time that Xuanxin and the others had seen Su Fang cultivate the yellow spring blood sea. They were shocked. Seeing Su Fang's head shatter, they were so scared that their faces turned pale. They exclaimed and stood up. "It's okay. I'm cultivating the peerless cultivation method of the yellow spring demon emperor," the second primordial spirit explained to Xuanxin in a cold voice. "I'm still not strong enough. I can't help Su Fang in the slightest. I have to become stronger and help him, not a burden and burden." Xuanxin felt a sharp pain in her heart. She bit her lips so hard that blood flowed out, but she did not notice. The essence refined by the cultivators in the crucible transformation realm, as well as the spiritual liquid refined by elixirs and spiritual objects, fell into the pool of blood. The yellow spring blood sea gradually regained some vitality. Then, the three celestial emperors of the Great Qin immortal world suppressed and the Storm Valley refused to submit. Their shackled bodies were directly thrown into the pool of blood. They were quickly swallowed and merged with the pool of blood. The flame of life became stronger and stronger. Only then did Su Fang start to devour the remaining blood body of the dark green demon emperor. About 3 years later, the blood body of the dark green demon emperor was finally completely merged with the pool of blood. The life force that had been consumed was finally restored by half. A bloody figure, Su Fang, emerged from the whirlpool of the blood sea. With a thought, the Chaos Origin Holy Mirror appeared in his palm. He activated the mirror, and the main body of the Thousand Illusion Star Fire came to Su Fang. It turned out that he was trying to merge with the Thousand Illusion Star Fire to break through the Yang Meridian and the 3 realms of the World Immortal Realm at the same time, so that his life force could be restored to its peak state. He activated his perfected ability to sense the inside of the strange fire and released his own energy at the same time. How powerful was the Origin Sacred Mirror? No matter if it was a human, a spiritual object of heaven and earth, or a force, once it was absorbed, it would be refined by its divine power. The Thousand Illusion Star Fire was no exception. The main body of the Thousand Illusion Star Fire was far more powerful than the Heavenlight Strange Fire that Su Fang had merged with. However, after being suppressed by the Origin Sacred Mirror for 50 to 60 years, the inside of the flame was filled with the aura of the 9 Yang True Fire. Moreover, the entire flame contained the power of the 9 Yang True Fire, which made the merging process much easier. Su Fang was once again amazed by the great power of the Origin Sacred Mirror. Tung. Su Fang activated the 9 Yang Immortal Fire. His palms turned into a flame state and enveloped the Thousand Illusion Star Fire. The 9 Yang Immortal Fire seeped into the flame layer by layer. After being refined by the 9 Yang True Fire, the originally strong, independent consciousness of the Thousand Illusion Star Fire was now only left with the instincts of a flame. Moreover, it had merged with the aura of the 9 Yang True Fire. Not only did it not reject Su Fang's energy, it even took the initiative to merge with the 9 Yang Immortal Fire, igniting an unpredictable flame. After the 9 Yang Immortal Fire seeped into every part of the Thousand Illusion Star Fire, Su Fang sucked it into his body and into the Yin Yang Dao Wheel. He activated the 9 Yang, 9 transformations. Pure Yang energy and the power of the Yin Yang world rapidly passed through the Yin Yang Dao Wheel and madly poured into the Thousand Illusion Star Fire. At the same time, he circulated all the energy in his body to merge with the Thousand Illusion Star Fire. Gradually, the Thousand Illusion Star Fire devoured all of Su Fang's energy, and then it surged back into Su Fang's fleshly body. In an instant, an astonishingly vast amount of energy surged forth, and Su Fang's body was burning from the inside out. It was as though he was being burned from the inside out. It was constantly burning and merging. Half a month later, Qi. Suddenly, a burst of tribulation Qi spewed out from Su Fang's body. Was he about to break through? How long had it been since he reached the realm of immortals? The astonishing power of the Thousand Illusion Starfire was indeed extraordinary. This was only a part of the Thousand Illusion Starfire. If he merged all of it, how astonishing would the transformation be? Chapter 13:27. Asterisk splash. Asterisk Su Fong opened his mouth and sucked the yellow spring blood sea into his body. The blood water quickly condensed and turned into a physical body. At this moment, layers of tribulation chi burst out from his body and turned into tribulation fire. The Nine Suns' immortal fire spurted out from his body and burned the impurities into ashes instantly. A blast of impact swept across Su Fong's body, causing his body to tremble uncontrollably. All the bones in his body were breaking, and his whole body seemed to be about to explode. Su Fong gritted his teeth and controlled the power of advancement. Soon, the breakthrough was over. A powerful chi burst out from his body and covered 300 miles of the true dragon world. At this moment, he seemed to be the absolute master of this space. This was the world immortal realm. In the void of stars, one could create a space that he could control with his divine form and domain. He could build his own domain world and control the void of stars. Tao marks appeared on the golden core of origin, meridians, flesh, and divine apertures. World immortal 3 Tao realm. In some great forces, a world immortal 3 Tao realm expert was at least a powerful elder. However, how could Su Fong be measured by ordinary people? His physical body had reached the perfect realm, and he had the yellow spring blood sea, the black lotus true body, the blood transformation true body, the illusory fire cloud, and other abilities. Coupled with the peerless Tao artifact, his divine might, the life-shrinking technique, the ethereal truth, and the Nine Suns' true fire, he could fight against a peak immortal emperor with his own strength. If he had the Xianming lightning seal, he could even kill an ordinary immortal emperor. It's only been a few years, and he has broken through to the world immortal 3 Tao realm. Monster! This kid is a monster. Xian Yin Tian exclaimed in shock. For other cultivators, even the peerless geniuses of great forces, it would take tens of thousands of years for them to advance to the next level of the world immortal realm. But what about Su Fong? If he wasn't a monster, then what was he? Compared to him, the so-called 10 great young masters were simply a joke. Seeing that Su Fong's hair had turned from white to gray, and his age had returned to his 30s, Xuanqin Fairy finally felt relieved. Hearing her grandpa's voice, she smiled, and her face revealed a proud expression. This monster is even more terrifying than us big goblin. Although the other big goblins were already numb to Su Fong's speed, they couldn't help but exclaim in shock. Asterisk rumble asterisk, just as Su Fong was about to check on the changes brought about by this breakthrough, the true dragon realm suddenly shook. The formation of the world immortal 3 Tao, Xian Yin Tian Cauldron. He released his will, and his sensing power covered the entire true dragon realm. He immediately found the cause of the disturbance. It turned out that a formation could not bear the burden of the refining power and had shattered, causing the entire true dragon realm to be in turmoil. Su Fong. In the past, he had estimated that the true dragon realm could last for at least 100 years. Now, it seemed that he had been too optimistic. It was not that the true dragon realm was not sturdy enough, but that it had been damaged too severely in the past. It was like an ant nest appearing in a sturdy riverbank. The world immortal 3 Tao realm's formation of the world immortal 3 Tao realm caused turbulence in the Dharma treasure. At the same time, this turbulence spread to the outside world and was sensed by old monster Zhu Tian, who was constantly activating the green flame golden sun cauldron's formation. There's movement indeed. This peerless magic treasure is absolutely not inferior to the blue flame golden sun cauldron. Ha ha ha! This emperor first obtained a king-grade medicinal cauldron, and then obtained a peerless Tao artifact. My luck is really not ordinary. The Candle Sky Thunder Barrier is really this emperor's blessed land. Huh? Although he still couldn't lock onto the world immortal 3 Tao realm, old monster Zhu Tian was overjoyed. He continued to activate the formation. This time, The flames were more than twice as strong as before. Su Fong shifted all his energy to the outside of the world immortal 3-Dao realm. He used his full circle ability and combined it with the Dharma treasure of the world immortal 3-Dao realm to extend his sensing ability to the outside of the world immortal 3-Dao realm. The fierce refining flames turned into a monstrous flame domain. The burning power affected Su Fong's full circle ability. He couldn't help but be shocked. I have to find a way to escape as soon as possible. Otherwise, in less than 50 years, the world immortal 3-Dao realm will be forced to reveal itself or even completely collapse. Damn it! How did old monster Zhu Tian obtain such a powerful king-grade Dharma treasure? Su Fong was anxious. He used his full circle ability to the extreme. At the same time, he also slightly activated the life shrinking technique to scan the world inside the green flame golden sun cauldron in an attempt to find the flaw of this king-grade Dharma treasure. Old monster Zhu Tian's young immortal 3-Dao realm could not detect Su Fong's full circle ability and the life shrinking technique. Su Fong could see most of the world inside the Dharma treasure. Buzz! When the power of perception swept through a formation, Su Fong's full circle ability suddenly saw something being refined in the formation. It immediately attracted Su Fong's attention. In the center of the refining formation, there was a fist-sized, elixir-like object. It was jet black in color and constantly flashed with lightning and bloodlight. It emitted a vast elixir power and life aura. It was as if this elixir, which had not been completely refined, was a living thing with flesh and blood. Luo's surprised voice suddenly came from the blood jade in Su Fong's body. This is Thunder Ginseng Blood Infant? In the current immortal world, there is actually someone who can refine such a peerless elixir? Upon hearing that there was a treasure, Su Fong's spirit was immediately lifted. He quickly asked, Luo, what is Thunder Ginseng Blood Infant? It sounds very evil. How can it be an elixir? Thunder Ginseng Blood Infant is not an evil thing. On the contrary, this elixir is a supreme elixir for healing injuries. It was famous in ancient times. Luo, tell me more details. Legend has it that the main ingredient of Thunder Ginseng Blood Infant is called Thunder Ginseng. It looks a bit like ginseng that has become a human baby. It is born in a place where the power of heavenly thunder is strong. It is a treasure of heaven and earth that can only be found by chance. Compared to Thunder Ginseng, Thunder Fury Flame is a little inferior. When refined into an elixir, even a dying immortal venerable can recover to his peak state in just a few hundred years after taking this elixir. Don't you think it's amazing? Amazing, too amazing. In the true dragon realm, Su Fong kept swallowing his saliva. What you see now has not been refined into an elixir. The effect of the elixir will definitely be a lot worse. Its medicinal power is not even 10% of the real Thunder Ginseng Blood Infant, but the power of the elixir is still amazing. It is 10 times, 100 times more powerful than any other elixir you have. If you can get your hands on it, it will be easy for you to recover your vitality. If you give it to an immortal demon, he can recover at least 20% of the strength of an immortal venerable. 20% of the strength of an immortal venerable. Su Fong's heart thumped wildly, and his eyes flashed. Right now, his second primordial spirit could unleash the strength of an immortal demon monster. It was not even a tenth of the strength of immortal venerable Tsang Huan or demon venerable Menggu, but it already had such powerful combat strength. What would it mean to recover 20% of his strength? At the very least, he would have the strength to fight old monster Zhu Tian. If he had the giant gluttonous demon and the Xianming lightning tripod, it would be easy to kill or even capture old monster Zhu Tian alive as long as he planned it well. Even if the great Qin Celestial Emperor was present, he could at least protect himself if he could not defeat 2 immortal emperors. No matter what, I have to get my hands on this peerless treasure. Su Fong's eyes flashed with a dark luster, revealing a ruthless look. Old monster Zhu Tian, since you helped the great Qin Celestial Emperor suppress me and even tried to refine the true dragon realm, threatening the safety of everyone in the true dragon realm, then I, Su Fong, will not hold back. The Thunder Ginseng Blood Infant is mine. This King Great Pill Cauldron and your life all belong to me, Su Fong. After settling in the true dragon realm for a long time, Su Fong suddenly opened his eyes and said coldly, Second Primordial Spirit, you go out first and kill old monster Zhu Tian's young immortal. Easy as pie. As soon as the voice that was filled with killing intent fell, the second primordial spirit shot out from between the immortal demon monster's eyebrows. It passed through the true dragon realm's formation without any obstruction and entered the golden sun cauldron's world. What is this? Ah, old monster Zhu Tian's young immortal exclaimed. He did not even have time to unleash his primordial spirit's aura before it was shattered by the second primordial spirit's sword chi. Then the second primordial spirit grabbed the young immortal and swallowed it. The flames from the refining formation also became much dimmer. Whoosh! Su Fong flew out of the true dragon realm and entered the golden sun cauldron's world. The royal Grey Dao artifact was indeed extraordinary. Su Fong had just come out of the true dragon realm when he was immediately suppressed by the astonishing shackles and could not move. Su Fong's original body also pushed the purple cloud Dharma spirit and the Emperor's chi to the extreme. The mysterious purple cloud that lingered around his body suddenly erupted with an astonishing power that could make any magic treasure submit to it and spread out in all directions. The shackles formed by the power of the golden sun cauldron's Dharma treasure were instantly shattered layer by layer. They were even suppressed by Su Fong's power. Under the protection of the purple cloud Dharma spirit's power, Su Fong traveled through the golden sun cauldron's world and instantly arrived at the Thunder Ginseng Blood Infant array. Stop! Whoosh! Whoosh! Hundreds of old monster Zhu Tian appeared around Su Fong. They were old monster Zhu Tian's young immortals. You are actually a realm immortal 3 Dao realm cultivator? In this Emperor's peerless Dao artifact, you are not shackled by the Dao artifact's power. You even want to steal this Emperor's Thunder Ginseng Blood Infant. Not only are you powerful, but you are also extremely daring. This is the world of this Emperor's Dharma treasure. In this Emperor's world, anyone and any power will be suppressed or destroyed by this Emperor's will. Hundreds of young immortals formed hand seals together and activated the Golden Sun Cauldron. An astonishing Dao artifact's power shrouded Su Fong's body. After shackling Su Fong, immortal marks quickly wrapped around Su Fong's body, try to seal him. The mysterious and strange power from the Xian Guang shattered all the primordial spirits that were pressuring him in the divine aperture world. One could clearly see that the Huangfu Yunhai Yang immortal was trembling. Old monster Zhu Tian. The runes that the second primordial spirit resided in shot out black Xian Guang and condensed into Su Fong in a shining golden robe. No matter how powerful the King Grey Dao artifact's power was, it could not affect the primordial spirit. At this moment, it was the time for the second primordial spirit to display its powerful strength. This is a primordial spirit clone, competing with this Emperor's primordial spirit power. Are you seeking death? I don't care what heaven-defying methods you have. This Emperor will crush them all. Old monster Zhu Tian was dumbfounded. However, immortal emperors were not ordinary people. He immediately threw away Su Fong. Hundreds of young immortals merged into one and released a murderous aura. The young immortals controlled this aura like a roaring flood and rushed towards Su Fong formed by the second primordial spirit. Of course, old monster Zhu Tian had the right to be arrogant. Chapter 1328. Old monster Zhu Tian Yang Xian controlled his primordial spirit aura. It was like a flood, vast and ferocious. It was shocking. So what if you're an immortal emperor's young immortal? I'll crush you. If I crush an ant. The golden-robed Su Fong's second primordial spirit spoke with an arrogant voice. He stretched out his hand and grabbed at old monster Zhu Tian's primordial spirit. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Old monster Zhu Tian's primordial spirit was shattered layer by layer. The young immortal was grabbed by the second primordial spirit. Impossible! How can your primordial spirit be so powerful? Could it be that you're an immortal sovereign expert that surpassed immortal emperors? This is impossible. Old monster Zhu Tian, who was arrogant just now, revealed a look of shock and fear. Puff! The second primordial spirit's supreme primordial spirit's aura turned old monster Zhu Tian's young immortal into ashes. The second primordial spirit's aura was so powerful, domineering, and powerful. Over 100 young immortals were destroyed. A trace of pain flashed across old monster Zhu Tian's eyes before they returned to normal. As a supreme expert, he could split his young immortals into millions. This loss was still bearable for him. What shocked old monster Zhu Tian was the power of the second primordial spirit. He did not dare to separate the young immortal into the Tao artifact's inner world. This person must have an extremely powerful primordial spirit by his side. All I need to do is refine this person's physical shackles, and everything will be solved. Old monster Zhu Tian revealed a ruthless expression. He decisively took out the blue flame golden sun cauldron from his body. Then, he formed several hand seals, and Xian Guang landed on the cauldron. In an instant, old monster Zhu Tian used all his strength to activate the blue flame golden sun cauldron. However, a King Grey Tao artifact was not so easy to activate. Even an immortal emperor like old monster Zhu Tian could only activate half of the blue flame golden sun cauldron's power. In just a dozen breaths, old monster Zhu Tian's forehead was covered in sweat and his face was pale. He had used up a lot of his true qi. Within the inner world of the azure flame golden sun cauldron, Su Fong had sunk into a sea of fire. An astonishing, shackling force enveloped his body. The power of burning and refining surged over. Even a peak's supreme Grey Tao treasure would gradually be refined. Boom! Su Fong once again unleashed the purple Qi Dharma spirit's godly aura. Together with the Emperor's Qi, a godly aura that was superior to any Dharma treasure formed a domain that covered all directions. At the same time, Su Fong unleashed his pure yang god might, making him seem like a supreme, godly spirit. Everything in the great immortal world was like an ant that had to submit to him. The weapon spirit of the blue flame golden sun cauldron was suppressed by this divine aura. It even wanted to submit to this divine aura and obey Su Fong's orders. The shackles that shrouded Su Fong immediately shattered layer by layer. The burning and refining power also weakened by more than half, and the power of the medicinal cauldron dropped significantly. Su Fong took one step at a time. Although his steps were slow, they carried an unparalleled sense of dominance. Everywhere he went, nothing could stop him. He was unstoppable. This is impossible. How could this be? Old monster Zhu Tian was shocked and in disbelief. He kept activating the blue flame golden sun cauldron. At the same time, he communicated with the weapon spirit. Weapon spirit, what's going on? Even a King Grey Tao artifact can't suppress him? The blue flame golden sun cauldron's voice was filled with spirituality. Master, I don't know what's going on either. Not only is this person's aura difficult to restrain, but it's also making me obey him unknowingly. If I hadn't fused with Master long ago, I'm afraid I would have broken free from Master's control. The weapon spirit's voice was filled with respect. Who is this person? His cultivation level isn't high, but he has such a terrifying ability. Fortunately, he's trapped in the blue flame golden sun cauldron. I'll suppress him sooner or later. Old monster Zhu Tian was relieved. However, in the next second, Su Fong used the life-shrinking technique to cover the space around the lightning ginseng blood infant. Then, with a flip of his palm, the Origin Divine Mirror appeared in his hand. He faced the Origin Divine Mirror in the direction of the lightning ginseng blood infant and activated the mirror. A red light shot out and wrapped around the lightning ginseng blood infant. Chi, chi, chi. The array that was restraining and refining the lightning ginseng blood infant burned and shattered, turning into nothingness. The terrifying power of the divine artifact caused the entire world of the blue flame golden sun cauldron to tremble violently, and some of the arrays shattered. The weapon spirit of the blue flame golden sun cauldron felt as if doomsday had arrived. It trembled and did not dare to move. Old monster Zhu Tian was shocked and quickly went to check the situation. However, his senses were blocked by the life-shrinking technique, and all he saw was nothingness. The lightning ginseng blood infant that had escaped from the array's shackles wanted to escape. A pill had become a spirit and had a certain level of consciousness. A peerless pill. It's indeed extraordinary, very extraordinary. How could Su Fong let the lightning ginseng blood infant escape from under his nose? He activated the mirror, and the lightning ginseng blood infant was sucked into the mirror with a red light. Ha ha ha! The lightning ginseng blood infant, this peerless pill, is mine. Su Fong was very excited. His heart beat wildly, and his eyes shone brightly as he put away the mirror. This treasure could help the immortal demon monster recover and escape from his shackles. How could Su Fong not be happy? Should I possess old monster Zhu Tian? The second primordial spirit's cold voice was filled with killing intent. Only the second primordial spirit would dare to think of seizing the body of a powerful immortal emperor expert. Su Fong thought for a while and shook his head. The primordial spirit of an immortal emperor expert is also very powerful. It's very difficult to break through his divine aperture's defense. Moreover, his divine aperture ocean is his world. If you fight there, your primordial spirit's power will be suppressed. If I don't cooperate with you outside, it'll be very difficult for you to successfully possess him. Instead, you'll expose your strength in advance. Then what should I do? First, use the lightning ginseng blood infant to recover the immortal demon monster's body. When you have 20% of the strength of an immortal emperor expert, then find a way to leave the cauldron's world and kill old monster Zhu Tian. Then we'll do as you said. As long as the immortal demon monster's body recovers, old monster Zhu Tian will be like an ant. After returning to the true dragon world, Su Fong took out the lightning ginseng blood infant from the origin sacred mirror. In this short period of time, the lightning ginseng blood infant had been refined by the 9-yang true fire in the mirror. It now had the aura of the 9-yang true fire. Luo Zhong's voice sounded from the blood jade. To be able to obtain a lightning ginseng blood infant by chance. In the ancient times, it was very useful to immortal emperors. TSK. Su Fong, your luck is really heaven-defying. With this peerless pill, the immortal demon monster will be able to recover part of its strength. When facing an immortal emperor expert like the Great Qin Immortal Emperor, it won't have to run away anymore. This is all due to the good luck brought by the purple cloud magic spirit. When I obtain the Thunder Fury Flame and return to the immortal AO Great World, I must obtain the third part of the purple cloud magic spirit. Whoosh! He directly threw the lightning ginseng blood infant to the immortal demon monster, who swallowed it. Boom! As soon as the pill entered the monster's mouth, a majestic life force surged like thunder and surged within the immortal demon monster's body. A life force aura spread out of the monster's body, causing Su Fong to feel energized. Just this small amount of life force made Su Fong feel as if he had cultivated for more than 10 years. It is indeed a peerless pill. Su Fong also circulated the yin-yang energy and pure yang energy into the immortal demon monster's body to help it refine the pill. Outside the blue flame golden sun cauldron. Ah! My lightning ginseng and blood infant was stolen. Damn it! I will never forgive you. Old monster Zhu Tian roared angrily when he realized that the lightning ginseng blood infant had been stolen. He completely went crazy. He originally thought that he had obtained another peerless Dao artifact. Who would have thought that he would not even see a hair of the Dao artifact, now that he had lost the lightning ginseng blood infant? How could old monster Zhu Tian's heart not bleed? Wait until I catch you, you rat. I will skin you alive and burn your bones to ashes. I will torture your young immortal in the lightning fire for 1,000,000 years. Old monster Zhu Tian's eyes shot out crimson light, and his hair stood on end. He used all his strength to activate the blue flame's golden sun cauldron as if he had gone crazy. However, this old monster was still not at ease. He created layers of arrays around the cauldron. They were all extremely powerful ancient arrays. Even if I can't refine you and let you out of the blue flame's golden sun cauldron, I will still trap you in the arrays and kill you. Old monster Zhu Tian's eyes were crimson red as he stared at the cauldron. Boom, boom. In the true dragon realm, several formations were shattered by the crazy, refining power from the outside, causing the entire true dragon realm to tremble. Old monster Zhu Tian, I'll let you be arrogant for now. When the immortal fiend monster's body recovers a little and I walk out of the cauldron world, you will die. Su Fang's eyes exuded a cold, killing intent. The lightning ginseng and blood infant were elixirs that could surpass the peak of supreme grade. The power of the elixir was extremely vast, and it would take more than 1 or 2 days to refine it. Su Fang had to race against time with old monster Zhu Tian to help the immortal demon monster refine the elixir. The power of yin and yang and the power of pure yang were continuously sent into the immortal demon monster's body. The power of the elixir swept through the immortal demon monster's body. He could not help but tremble. The accumulated injuries in his body turned into layers of impurities and surged out of his body. The wounds and injuries on his body were also recovering at a speed visible to the naked eye. Gradually, Su Fang could not take it anymore. Pa! 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 The immortal demon monster's body collapsed and turned into a huge, bloody whirlpool. Then, a bloody man formed at the bottom of the whirlpool. The immortal demon monster sat cross-legged above the bloody sea and used the immortal demon True Qi to refine the lightning ginseng and blood infant with Su Fang's power and recover his damaged body. The power of yin and yang and the power of pure yang were constantly injected into the immortal demon monster's body. At the same time, the Vermilion Emperor took out the elixir and the corpse of the Storm Soul Valley Master that had been killed and thrown into the bloody sea. It was corroded and swallowed. Finally, it turned into a shocking flame of life that burned. Su Fang continued to fuse with the 1,000 illusion star fire essence and turned it into pure yang energy in the yin-yang Dao wheel to make up for the consumption. He was going to help the immortal demon monster recover at all costs. Just how astonishing was the energy contained within the 1,000 illusion star fire essence. The yin-yang Dao will burn with terrifying pure yang true fire. Even the yang energy in the 31 yang meridians and the true qi absorbed by the world fragment were in a flame state. It was not only the yin-yang Dao wheel. Su Fang's entire body was spewing flames. His arms, head, and chest had all turned into rolling clouds of fire that continued to extend to his abdomen. Time passed day by day. The immortal demon monster was transforming bit by bit. The mighty aura of immortal and demon fused together lingered around him, forming a reincarnation whirlpool that was somewhat similar to Su Fang's yin-yang Dao wheel. His appearance also changed. His skin turned red and black. His facial features became more and more similar to Su Fang's. His eyes were as deep as the vast starry sky. Su Fang was also transforming as he continued to fuse with the 1,000 illusion starfire. Qi! Suddenly, the yin-yang Dao wheel in the depths of his body exploded. It turned out that the 31 yang meridians that were in the process of breaking through were brewing and exploding with shocking power. Chapter 1329. The fire-rising divine sun sect had taken 1,000,000 years to become a first-class force, and part of the reason for that was because they possessed the 1,000 illusion starfire core. From this, one could imagine how terrifying the energy contained within the 1,000 illusion starfire core was. Just by fusing a little, Su Fang had advanced to the third world, immortal realm. Now, he was about to successfully form his 31st yang meridian, but he had only fused half of it. He gathered all the energy in his body and started to attack his meridians. The yin-yang Dao wheel in the depths of his body burned with the 9 suns' immortal fire and the power of the world of yin and yang in the world fragment all surged into the 31st meridian. Every attack would cause the meridian to swell and vibrate, as if it was about to explode. He didn't know how many times he was attacked, but a flame quickly burned from one end of the meridian to the other end. With a pop sound, the meridian that was being attacked suddenly exploded with a mysterious light of yang qi. The yang qi flame rushed into the 31st meridian, and this meridian quickly turned into a jade-like material. This newly formed yang meridian approached the yin-yang Dao wheel and became a part of it. Looking at the yin-yang Dao wheel that had become deeper and filled with pure yang energy, Su Fong was overjoyed. Not only did his head and face return to normal, but he also seemed to be in high spirits. When fusing with the Thousand Illusion Starfire, I injected the heavenly fire into the yin-yang Dao wheel, so that each yang meridian would fuse with the power of the Thousand Illusion Starfire. Not only would the yang meridian have the power of yang, but the yin-yang Dao wheel would also be the fire meridian of the Fire Cloud Imperial Physique. This way, my Fire Cloud Imperial Physique will take another big step towards maturity. It's a pity that I don't have time to cultivate the Illusions Fire Cloud now. I still have the Thousand Illusions Starfire that hasn't been fused. I can continue to cultivate my body and reach the 4th stage of the World Immortal Realm. After dealing with old monster Zhu Tian, I will need to cultivate in seclusion for a long time. I will try to transform my strength again when I leave the Zhu Tian Lightning Realm and return to the immortal Ao Great World. Su Fong suddenly opened his eyes. The immortal demon monster had almost completely refined the lightning ginseng and blood infant. There were no wounds on the surface of its body, and its aura was also retracted. It became deep and ethereal, not much inferior to the Great Qin Immortal Emperor. Su Fong could only sense how vast and terrifying his aura was when he scanned it with his Great Perfection stage power. The fusion of the immortal and devil powers caused his aura to exude a divine might similar to the yin-yang Dao wheel. It had the powerful ability to suppress the immortal Dao and devil Dao cultivators' vital qi and divine might. On the surface, the monster did not look much different from an ordinary cultivator. Its face was very similar to Su Fong's, but it was very cold. Its eyes would occasionally flash with a cold, killing intent. Just a glance from it could cause the will of some ordinary world immortals to collapse. Law prays from the blood jade inside his body. This immortal devil monster's future growth space will definitely be greater than Venerable Yu Tsanghuan and Venerable Netherworld Demon Venerable, or even the sum of their strength. You have to spend more energy on him. Is two. More than a dozen formations in the true dragon realm were shattered, causing tremors again and again, causing the mountains and rivers in the true dragon realm to tremble as well. It was as though a huge earthquake had occurred. The true dragon realm's artifact spirit's voice sounded. Master, you must try to stop it. Otherwise, the true dragon realm will not be able to hold on for another 10 years. For immortals, 10 years was nothing more than the blink of an eye. It was no wonder that the artifact spirit was getting anxious. As soon as the voice of the artifact spirit fell, there was a loud boom. The true dragon realm could no longer maintain its dust state. It turned into a 1-foot-wide lotus and appeared in the azure flame golden sun cauldron. Su Fong raised an eyebrow and asked the monster, second primordial spirit, "How is your recovery going?" The second primordial spirit replied coldly, "I've recovered nearly 20% of my strength, but there are still some pills that I haven't been able to refine. However, with my help, killing old monster Zhu Tian won't be a problem." "Very good. Let's go out and kill old monster Zhu Tian." Su Fong stood up, and a supreme, domineering aura and murderous aura exploded. It carried with it a sense of heaven-defying heroism that caused the entire true dragon realm to change colors. It had been less than 1,000 years since he ascended to the immortal realm. He had gone from a weak, ant-like lower realm cultivator to having the strength to kill a peerless immortal emperor. How could he not be filled with domineering aura and heroism? This time, he had been chased by the Great Qin Immortal Emperor all the way to the lightning realm of Zhu Tian. Then, he had been suppressed into a Tao artifact by old monster Zhu Tian. He had fallen into a dangerous situation. Now, he could finally retaliate against a powerful enemy. How could Su Fong not be filled with killing intent? The experts and Big Goblin, who were cultivating in the dojo, sensed Su Fong's terrifying aura. They were all in awe and shouted in unison, "Master is mighty!" Fairy Xuanxin, who was cultivating in the depths of the palace, smiled and murmured, "He has become even more powerful." Grandpa was right. My man is really a monster. Being his woman is really stressful. I can't let him leave me too far behind. Otherwise, we will become people from two different worlds outside the blue flame's golden sun cauldron. That is a spatial magic treasure? Old monster Zhu Tian sensed the movement in the world of the magic treasure and fell into an intense shock. Then he was filled with ecstasy. No wonder this person could avoid the detection of me and the Great Qin Immortal Emperor. It turns out that he has a legendary spatial magic treasure. In the entire immortal realm, how many people have spatial magic treasures? Ha! I will soon have a spatial magic treasure. How heaven-defying is this? With a spatial magic treasure, even if I destroy the blue flame's golden sun cauldron, it will be worth it. Old monster Zhu Tian revealed a decisive and ruthless expression. He swallowed hundreds of supreme-grade pills in one go. Then, with the help of the pills, he pushed the blue flame's golden sun cauldron to the extreme and crazily shot out refining flames that enveloped the true dragon realm. Chi! The five-colored light outside the true dragon realm was burned and shattered bit by bit. It was like a lotus burning in a raging fire. This time, even if I can't refine you, I will capture you alive. No matter how heaven-defying you are, you won't be able to escape from me. At the same time, old monster Zhu Tian created layers of powerful arrays around the blue flame's golden sun cauldron. Even the Great Qin Immortal Emperor would not be able to escape in a short period of time and would even be severely injured. Thinking that he was foolproof, old monster Zhu Tian once again let out a burst of arrogant laughter. Whoosh! The immortal demon monster flew out of the true dragon realm. The majestic power of the Tao artifact shackles and the refining flames covered the immortal demon monster's body. Even with his current terrifying strength, it was difficult for him to move under the suppression of the King Grey Tao artifact. Break! With a cold shout, the immortal demon monster's aura exploded and condensed into an immortal demon domain. The surrounding flames and the shackles were forcibly shaken away bit by bit. The collision of the two forces caused a series of explosions, causing the blue flame's golden sun cauldron to shake nonstop. Su Fong also came out of the true dragon realm with the origin sacred mirror in his hand. Chi! After activating the mirror, the aura of a peerless divine artifact burst out, causing the surrounding shackles and refining power to shatter layer by layer. The power of a divine artifact was extraordinary. Just the aura that it released was comparable to the immortal demon monster's full power. Moreover, Su Fong could only barely activate the 9-yang true fire from the mirror. It could be used to suppress the Big Goblin, the demon race, magic treasures, and spiritual items. However, he had not been able to find a way to use the mirror to kill cultivators. If he could use the 9-yang true fire to kill cultivators, then he would be truly invincible. Even so, within the blue flame's golden sun cauldron's world, the divine artifact's power was unstoppable. The red light that shot out swept out horizontally. Wherever it went, the shackles of the azure flame's golden sun cauldron shattered. Even the blood energy that old monster Zhu Tian had fused with the array formation inside the Tao artifact and the immortal patterns on the cauldron were burned and incinerated by the 9-yang true flames. This meant that Su Fong was forcibly taking away control of the Tao artifact in front of old monster Zhu Tian. Damn it! What kind of Tao artifact is that? How can it burn away my blood chi? A celestial emperor who had fused with a royal Grey Tao artifact had his blood chi forcibly removed from the Tao artifact's world. How shocking was this? Hurry up and stop. It's so painful. His chi and blood were incinerated, and old monster Zhu Tian felt as if his flesh and blood were being burned away. He grimaced in pain, and the muscles on his face kept twitching. His heart was bleeding even more. If you want to suppress me, Su Fong, I'll take away your Tao artifact. Su Fong raised the corner of his mouth and revealed a cold smile. Continuously activating the chaos sacred mirror consumed a lot of Su Fong's pure yang energy. Old monster Zhu Tian's blood chi was completely burned away, and more than half of the yang energy in the yin-yang Tao wheel was consumed. Old monster Zhu Tian's face turned pale. Artifact spirit, if you don't submit to me, I'll destroy you and the cauldron. Su Fong's domineering voice echoed in the Tao artifact. At the same time, he released the purple Chi Dharma Spirit's divine artifacts, divine artifacts, divine artifacts, divine artifact. Don't kill me. I'll submit. A fiery red treasure light appeared in front of Su Fong. It was the artifact spirit of the blue flame golden sun cauldron. Under Su Fong's divine power, the treasure light trembled and looked pitiful. Su Fong put away the mirror and released his blood essence. With the help of the artifact spirit, the blood essence turned into blood chi and quickly seeped into the formation of the blue flame golden sun cauldron and the celestial inscriptions on the cauldron. A royal gray Tao artifact, a peerless cauldron, had changed owners just like that. Moreover, he was forcefully taking it away from its original owner. How overbearing! After losing control of the blue flame golden sun cauldron, old monster Zhu Tian roared angrily, "Damn cultivator! I'll skin you alive." Before he could finish speaking, Su Fong's majestic voice came from the cauldron. Are you going to burn my bones and scatter my ashes before torturing my primordial spirit? Isn't it ridiculous for a celestial emperor to say such nonsense? Swoosh! Su Fong and his second primordial spirit flew out of the blue flame golden sun cauldron. Then, he grabbed the blue flame golden sun cauldron. The peerless cauldron immediately shrank and entered Su Fong's palm before being sent into the heaven and earth Tao palace. Old monster Zhu Tian's heart twitched. If looks could kill, he would have killed Su Fong 1,000 times, no, 10,000 times. Not only was his heart aching because he had lost his treasure, but he was also a celestial emperor. How humiliating was it for a celestial emperor to have his treasure snatched away in front of him? In the entire celestial world, such a thing had never been heard of since ancient times. If news of this were spread, he would be laughed at to death. However, in the next second, old monster Zhu Tian sensed the vast and strange aura of the celestial fiend monster. His eyes narrowed and revealed a look of shock. His expression became extremely solemn. In the next moment, he sensed the aura of the lightning ginseng and blood nascent from the celestial fiend monster. It had even devoured the lightning ginseng and blood nascent. I'm so angry.